threatened and threatened and threatened, but hasn't quite got there at the moment. So he's been okay. He's kicked 24 goals for the year. Once he gets going, he's hard to stop. He's been inconsistent. He gets in a little rolls where he kicks 2s and 3s really quickly, but he's got to have a Laverde matchup. Hopefully they give him as much room inside forward 50. You don't want Charlie marking the ball on the wing tonight. You want Charlie close to goal to say, righto, give us your best and get yourself nervous down near the goal.
Yeah. You feel like I want to see some great teamwork amongst them. I want to see the Carlton forwards, predominantly the other forwards, looking to block for Charlie and create space for him. And I feel like at the moment it's 4 or 5 silos out there just running their own separate forward line strategies.
Two of the competition's historic clubs coming together at the MCG. The Sunday ticket on Fox takes us to the evening of this long weekend on the Sunday. The scene comes together. Carlton and Essendon in front of near 90,000 next.
Game, and tonight 2 massive Melbourne clubs meet in front of almost 90,000 on a chilly night at the MCG. It's the King's Birthday Eve clash between Carlton and Essendon, and their deciders in the 8 at the moment. There is a rivalry which occasionally is bitter and it's always keen, but a lot of respect between those two gentlemen. And Zach Merritt has won the toss and has preferred to kick to the punt road into the stadium. Gary Lyon and Jonathan Brown were just about ready to rumble.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Can't wait. Going to find out a bit about these two teams. We're just watching the pre-game. It was Mitch McGovern who is joined at the front 6 for the Carlton Football Club. Took a lot of shots, Brownie. Now over his journey, he's played 100 39 games, McGovern. He's kicked 110 goals in his career.
Yeah.
He's only kicked the one this year, hasn't played forward probably for the best part of 2.5 years. So he looks like the one, we'll find out in a minute, that may find himself forward to try and stretch. He's certainly staying in that forward group. So McGovern and Charlie Curnow, the 1-2 in the forward half. Clark, the defender that you picked up round here, he's making his way down there, the young man that burst onto the scene with 3 goals a couple of weeks ago. So there's a bit of tactical play, by-play going on here at the moment. The other boy that we want to see is Big Nate Caddy. How exciting is he?
Oh, yeah. Presence with a capital P last week against Brisbane. He was fantastic, especially in that second half. He's down there. Peter Wright, they've got a pretty strong key forward combination. That Silvani match-up will be great to follow.
2 huge clubs, Essendon and Carlton. Traditional rivals, a rivalry which is at times bitter. Let's see how they fight it out tonight at the MCG. First hand centre field underneath, fires it back to Martin. He started off half-back, scrambled the kick forward. Akers.
Chin Cotter is on Martin, so it looks as if that's going to be a match-up to follow.
Plays it wide, but not too wide. Well tracked in the air through Martin. No mark. Look at he came through. And through it. And McGrath been in good form, a bit quieter last week against Brisbane. Plays it back through the captain to Nick Martin again. They were playing back last week at the start, so expect those two to be interchanging a fair bit. The leaders of the Bombers and their playmakers. McGrath long down the line. They look at each other, cleared the path for Wright and Kenny, but Tom DeConey makes a fine start aerially.
No player's future has been more discussed. TDK plays it back with the Haynes. And there's a 50 with the failure to stands from Guelphy.
It's going to help them. They can move the footy, but it's not always in the most efficient way. They get inside 50 but can't convert. So the challenge is once they go inside 50 here, Carl.
Haynes moves it quickly rather than the full 50. And Sard, who's really around goals these days, unloads. A magnificent start for the Blues. A bit of heartburn in the rivalry. The Bombers fans who once adored that man.
A lot better build-up than we've seen over Carlton last few weeks. So, yes, it was off the back of a 50-metre penalty, but lower the eyes. Instead of getting caught up in the pressure and bombing to about 30 metres out, lower the eyes. That allows Sard to get on the back of the handball. So you can just see the free kick, the movement. The umpires have been all over this the last couple of weeks with that creep with the stand rule. And then just see here, just a good little kick in there, just fires the play up, and then Sard is straight under it. Good finish.
Only 1 goal in 4 seasons.
It's always a surprise how few goals he's kicked, just 11 in his career coming in.
Well, 17th in the competition, half-back to score. That's a nice way to open the batting here. Get one from your back half.
Yeah, the Blues want to be a bit more fluent and open. That's a fine way to start the proceedings at the MCG. Goldstein favoured by the bounce. Caldwell tried to barge through and he tried to use Goldstein. Returns 37 shortly. Free kick is going the way of Chera in the middle. The obvious was the right call, unfortunately. Feet went from underneath Walsh, so the Bombers are there to tidy things up. Merritt from Martin again before he was hunted down by McGovern. Sard again impactful. Line came across. All goes over the line and out of bounds.
It's looked at Chin Cotter. He started on Martin and he's just rolled over to Merritt for the time being. So
I did that last week, Gaz. Martin started half-back, Merritt inside, and then Merritt went back after the first centre bounce. Martin goes in to do the centre bounce and probably stay there.
Goldstein in his 18th season in the competition has been called upon as an emergency since Anzac Day. They fight for it close to the boundary. Cripps takes a few yards.
How do you like that Merritt off half-back flank, Gaz?
Well, I don't like it for too long. I don't mind it if they're trying to determine and work out, who's going to who, but I think he's too good through the middle of the ground. Centrefield's gone to Cripps as well as the other matchup that was always going to take place, so keep an eye on that.
Conan and Goldstein work it down to the front, and nothing will eventuate from it.
The Coning's going to need to try and challenge Goldstein running across the field. Obviously a fair age gap there. Goldie's done a tremendous job this year to hold up with all the injuries they've had, but that's where he needs to challenge him, Tom DeConey.
Koning down to Chera, tackled by Caldwell instantly.
So looking at this Carlton forward line, it's Williams who's the deepest. He's on his own inside forward 50. That's the matchup I'd love Charlie Curnow to have. He could be the one inside forward 50. Right now he's in the centre square.
Chera again at the source. Luan got a hand in there to keep it back in dispute. Durham extricates and sends the Bombers forward for the first time. Caddy set himself. Silvani made the spoil. Coming through, Carroll underneath. Had to release the hand pass and did, but not to advantage. Durham loves a hard footy. Wrapped up. McGovern right on the spot.
Now they readjust, so Curnow starts to make his way as the deeper forward. I'd much prefer him to be closer to goal tonight.
Can't take it out of it. Goldstein back through centre field. And then to wait for the bounce, Clark, but he tries to hammer it forward. It wasn't the best connection. Lual tied up there. Here's Saad. 61 games worth of football for the Bombers. That's the booze. Walsh playing it short. This man Lord starting to impress at the highest level. Short to Hollins. And then on the angle into McGovern, so a good build. Charlie wanted it deep, but there was a better and a safer call. Tom De Koning sneaks in to take the mark.
This McCallum are at their best, guys. When they build up to uncontested mark, we saw it with their best win of the season when we did the Geelong game a few weeks ago, and they were able to move the ball in this manner.
And they hit their targets, Brownie, so they're 17th for kicking efficiency in the comp. But when you do this and put a chain together, De Koning's going to stretch Toddy Goldstein at every opportunity, as you pointed out.
Early in his career, we saw him forward for a lot of his football. These days, he's a dynamic ruckman. Only 2 goals, 4 for the season, and that's not the best offering first up. Frustration for the young man, but the Blues have done all the scoring so far.
They've split these encounters on the King's birthday eve. Essendon and Carlton convening for the 3rd time. Merritt discovered the joys of kicking in last week, and he's found Durham. Plays down the wing. Perkins has made space. Hollins did just enough, and Silvani on return. Up to Akers, who needs to get going in this season. There's no getting going there. Hobbs sees him over.
He set playing Zach Merritt to Sam Durham, who pushed up from half forward.
Over to the worn wing they trot.
See the umpire saying Walsh and Durham. Keep an eye on that one.
Koning. Clear tap. Akers stood in the tackle. Hollins got barreled. Doherty released Walsh. Kicks the Blues up the line. O'Keefe. Good first impression from Hudson. He kicks in boards. Williams back from injury himself and into the pocket for Charlie.
So again, finishing their play, Carlton by foot. And again, this is Charlie's domain tonight, Brownie. I know he's an athlete. I know he can hit the wings and take marks, but tonight the message is stay inside 50 and do your damage there.
Kicked 3 in each of the last 3 matches. Charlie Curnow's first look. Lashing goal. It might be a Charlie kind of night. The Blues have made the jump.
Yeah, it's very good. The kick has been impressive so far. No contest marks 10-3, but going at 75% by foot. I love this kick. I love this as a forward because it's obviously limited space inside 50. So you actually need the kicker to kick it before you lead. Kick it into the space. Then the defender's got no way. Look at that. The kick's already on the way. It's like a quarterback hitting a wide receiver.
It's a really good view of it too, Brownie. When we have a look at behind the goals there, you just saw McGovern, who didn't go to the same space. So he almost went there and then made the decision, said, no, I've got to leave some room for my other key forward to go to. So this is a great moment for the young man on debut. That's a really important. But here's McGovern here. Starts to go, I'll go back, take him back to the goal square. Charlie one-on-one.
Back into it again in the middle. Parrish forward handball. Bombers need to get going. Centrefield's left does just that. Doesn't quite reach Caddy. Well handled by Silvani. Back to Doherty. It is a real rainmaker to try and get underneath. And Cripps was taken out of it very cleverly by Centrefield, who had eyes only for the footy, but he knew where the Carlton captain was, and he gets encouragement and support from his teammates. I don't think those two will be too far apart for much of the night. Koning starting a metre or so behind Goldstein is very wary about which side he's going to come to approach this ruck throw in. Walsh, taken high by Hobbs. No, Hewitt back to Akers along the wings, and Connor instant handball. So Cripps has broken away from centre field. They've set up the forward line to Williams to come out of the square. Motlop doubling back, and he had plenty of room on the ground. And he takes the mark, and he's told just to cool things down and go back and consider before firing for goal. Great breakout by the Blues.
Yeah, great. Well called, Hutto, too. You picked up that centre field Cripps matchup. They're going to be close to each other. Well, that's the one time early in this game the Cripps has broken away from centre field, left him in his wake. And again, the delivery by Carlton has been fantastic. The boys done up the world of good with their foot skills.
7-8 for this season. Just kicked 1 goal in the past 3 games. Jesse Motlop still waiting to stamp himself on the game in a big time, and that's a fine way to start. As the enjoyment amongst the Blues spreads, they've been pretty good starters this year. That hasn't been the problem. This is certainly one of those tonight. 3-1-19, the Bombers haven't scored.
It's the method they'd love the most here, Brownie. They haven't been able to score from back half, so they're 17th in the comp. All 3 goals have come from the back half. Clean, quick hands, and here's the young man Clark here all at 2. Look at McGovern running into space if they want him. So this forward line is functioning really well at the moment. So you've got a young defence, not really sure where they should be going at the moment, and they're making the most of it. They're executing really well by foot, making space for one another, and there's options everywhere when they go in. So 3 goals from back half. Outstanding start here for Carlton.
Aussie found some pearls of wisdom in Fiji by the looks of things. 5 inside 50s for 4 shots. This is unheard of for the Carlton team this season.
Jacob Wittering said on Tuesday they moved the footy better than at any time this year at training, and they brought that to the G. Walsh is on the fast break. That's the short way home, but he's missed
He gave himself every chance. He ran 40 metres out of the middle.
Bit like the running from full back.
Actually, if they had kicked that, that would have been the dream start to get Sammy Walsh converting opportunities.
They're aggressive line, but he's asked a lot of centre field, who didn't get a play. Hewitt did, and Williams can't capitalise.
Well, they're all over it right here. So they're winning the ball back half, converting goals. They're turning it over from kick-ins inside their front half. It's a brilliant start. You've just got to put a bit of a chain together here, the Bombers. Their uncontested marks is a style of footy that they love. They've only taken 3. Carlton have taken 14, so the uncontested mark game probably going to buy them a little bit of time and help them settle here.
Johnson in game number 2. One of half a dozen teenagers brought it in long. Perkins in the fight against 3. And no escape. Ruby's on the boundary.
A chilly 10 degrees down here, keeping an eye on the radar. Looks like we might just miss some of that rain that we got today, which is beautiful. A little dewy underfoot, and you can definitely feel this rivalry between the 2 teams. Plenty of biff, not just in the midfield, but behind play as well.
I tell what Ruby's barracking for. A dry night.
And a bit of biff by the sound of it.
Yeah, old school.
The Blues came to this night a couple of years ago when they were in a similar position with just 4 wins. They got belted that night, but then went on a 9-game winning streak. And the hopeful hearts, those who are holding the candle, want to see them get going tonight and build in such a way. Walsh to Akers. Just checked his kick. McGovern couldn't hang on. Centre field. Uses merits. Out the side to Caldwell. Prolific last week. Steers it up to Caddy. His 21st was his best so far. What we saw at the Gabba. Up and down the ground. Towering marks, outrageous goals. Wrights his targets. Gresham the crummer. Nice feed. Dersmer in game 100. Martin set himself. Motlop did so well. Great body work. Pinched it.
Yeah, all the way down as a small forward.
Just about the last bloke you would have expected to pop up, take a contested mark on the last line, but it sets the Blues afield again, and Hollands can run, he can bounce, and then deliver out onto the southern wing. Peter Wright predicted it well. Cuts in front of McGovern, who's a bit frustrated the ball didn't get there quicker.
Yeah, right into the ruck, so good effort there. Beyond the play, Goldie up there, quick spell.
Fine effort from Jesse Motlop.
It's a super mark.
He's made 5 starts so far, as is his team. They lead by 21 points. Right front position. Williams trying to burst through with some success. Walsh thought about giving. In the end, he curled the handball. It was a better option. Hewitt had time to get poised, but you wouldn't know it from the kick. Johnson's denied. Lord flips the handball. Cripps has gone forward, and McGovern's going to mark it. I think Cripps was probably snapping for goal, but McGovern is going to do the job anyway.
This is the defence all at sea here. So when this ball comes and kick this goal, obviously McGovern will have a look at just two Essendon, or it might even been three Essendon defenders spoil each other 15 metres out for goal. They haven't spent much time together, and it looks like it right now.
Once upon a time, he was a key forward when we first saw him in Adelaide colours, and he relives the past tonight and puts through a fourth goal. 4-3-27. This is getting serious.
So 6 teenagers playing for Essendon and a 20-year-old, as Anthony Hudson rightly pointed out, and it looks like it right now. Looks like men versus boys. So they've cobbled together a back half without their regular defenders, and this is the result, Brownie. The players that haven't played together too often, and then bang, so Johnson and Laverde crash into each other. There's 3 Carlton players at ground level. Patrick Cripps he should have kicked the goal, didn't hit it that well, and McGovern was still able to take an uncontested mark in the goal square. So
Bad mistake by Laverde.
They can smell some blood in the water here.
Laverde, as the experienced one there, needs to have better vision. He punched it away from young Johnson. So yes, need a lift out of the centre. They need territory. Need a centre bounce victory here.
Essendon did get jumped last week at the Gabba. It looked alarming early and then rallied the troops well. O'Keefe trying to find Cripps. Couldn't. Parrish away to Durham. That's the centre bounce win that they needed. And Caddy, he plies his trade against Wiedering. He ducks back inside the All-Australian defender. Goes for full forward. O'Keefe had it, lost it. Hobbs ran into Saad.
And even that kick is not exactly what Essendon want with this sort of forward line setup they got. If Wright's not there, kicking high in there, the young man should have gobbled that one up.
Right to Gresham's, couldn't release. Carroll held on firmly.
Peter Hudson, make sure.
Peter Hudson, doesn't that stir some memories?
Right back.
O'Keefe to Cripps, smothered. Kako, did he pull that in? I fancy he did.
And the Bombers got to defend hard here. This is the next part, Brownie. Try and keep it in their half. Give their defenders a bit of a spell.
On 15, didn't worry Doherty.
Holding Essendon.
Free kick to the Bombers while the ball's in flight, so it's where it landed. McGrath. Got to get a connection and get it soon. Well, done from Dur's got to push back, but didn't finish the job. Haynes, friendly handball for the opposition, but he made good. Put the smother on Caldwell, rectified the situation.
We need some time in forward half, like you said, Gaz. Problem for Essendon has been the worst of the comp defending ball movement, so need to spend some time, win some stoppages. They were strong last week against a very strong Brisbane outfit in the midfield.
Keith and Wright again, who palmed down with purpose. Parrish generating some ball forward. Gresham, standoff with Carroll. 30 out from goal, not for long if Saad was able to control it. He's got the whistle in his favour. Stands at centre half back. Quickly moves it out to Carroll. Dashes off half back. McGovern, not up underneath. It is more customary roving position. Tagged by Johnson. They both stumble over.
So Pryor on McGovern is another match-up in the air that they might mind the Carlton Football Club.
Half a quarter without a score for the Bombers. Right, O'Keefe form up. O'Keefe cleanly but gave it up. Caldwell takes some territory. Doherty brought it to ground, needs Hollands. He had plenty pitted against him. Durham, Hollands kept on coming. A real terrier. Out to Hewitt. Charlie's his target and Curnow hangs on.
It's one of those nights. Probably get here he goes.
Here he goes. Curnow winds it up. He loves that kick so much, but it's across the face. He has 1-1.
Doesn't have a great record against the Bombers. Basically 2 goals to the last 4 times he's played against them.
He could fix that. He could fix that in a big way tonight. And I'd be encouraging if I was coaching him to put that in your back of your mind. You know, even at times be a little bit selfish in going after it.
Jordan Ridley's been his regular opponent. He's one of most of the frontline Bomber defenders that aren't there. So
this is Angus Clark here now. he started on McGovern, and I watched him for the first 3 minutes and didn't know much about what was going on, so they put Pryor on him.
Across the back of the highlight before they marked. This is your score.
So he's been relieved that McGovern. Pryor's gone to him. He'll just try and work it out throughout the course of the night.
Experienced defender, Pryor. He's had a pretty good season, actually, since crossing from Brisbane.
Back with McGrath. Still only the halfway stage of this opening term. So Bombers can't wait till the first break. They've got to change it while they're out there in the run. Right was the decent target. Kako can bolt and get it moving. Gresham to try and ask some questions of the Carlton defence. That didn't help. Hollands cutting in. Whacked back by Caddy. So Hollands just restarts the engine. Off to Lord. He targeted O'Keefe. He got crushed. Coming through hard, the Bombers digging in. Parrish back to Rice. Now Roberts. Oh, Hobbs didn't quite know. Oh, and then he got, but he just quite get the timing right in front of the members. But Lord does. He takes the grab for the Blues.
Carlton pressure been very strong. 200 in this first quarter.
Keith and Durham skipping through McGovern. Well handled by Pryor. Off to Parrish. Starting to get plenty on it. He wanted to dispose it better than that. Lord well positioned to fire Carlton forward through Doherty. And, rattling the bones of Fogarty.
Good job.
Kept at it, flicked it to Cripps, the captain inside 50. Again, he's curled it to Orazio Fantasia, who takes the mark.
Well up against Cincotta. He tried to do the right thing, Cincotta, but just not quite subtle enough.
Fantasia, another one, of course, who used to play for the other mob, 80 games with the Bombers. By Port Adelaide to the Blues.
Johnson's job to find a target, and Dersma rises to mark. Spreads in boards. Parrish. Link up run of Caldwell. Kick to an open forward centre. Highly promising. Gresham has it. He's got options. He'll go for Lual. And won't this be a moment?
Well, that's their best passage of play, because they actually completed the play that they started. Darcy Parrish had this opportunity 3 minutes ago and absolutely shanked it. Did a good job to get the ball on his boot and turned the footy over. This time they completed the play, and now we hold our breath.
Two sisters and a brother, Dad Thomas, tragically passed away in 2020. Lamont Lual to live all his dreams on the MCG. And that would put a smile on any face.
There he is, the old man. Blowing a kiss. What a great occasion. The boy from South Warrnambool, we're all proud of him from down our way. He's an absolute beauty. It's taken him 18 months to get his first game. There's Thomas there.
That's Thomas.
What a proud father. Proud father he is. There's the family, the girls. Oh, what an occasion. What a great occasion. So exciting. There the free kick on the blocking free kick. That started to play, like you said, guys. We saw this last week in the second half. They started to get the ball back into the corridor against the Lions and move the ball swiftly from one end of the ground to the other. That's their best ball movement of the night. And the youngster on debut capping it off with his first goal.
How good, awesome. It's ball movement and speed of ball movement for Essendon tonight, given the team that they've picked. So that means they're going to be good by foot.
Community footy's been the heart of his story. Brownie from down your way, so there'll be so many who'll be glad, absolutely thrilled by what they saw there at the MCG.
They have dug in. I think Hutto used to call it. They've just dug in the last 3 or 4 minutes here, the Bombers, and they had to. They'd given up the first 4 of the quarter.
Goldstein, it's coming over the top. Caldwell, so brilliant, particularly in the third quarter last week. Tumbling back, there's a good mark to Doherty.
That's a courageous mark. Going back with the flight.
Quick gift to one of his runners. Hollands, generating plenty of metres gained. Maybe a little more aggressive Carlton mode tonight. He obviously misfires the kick there. Michael Voss didn't like it.
Well, that's their first intercept. They can't hand the ball back here, Essendon. 6 times they've been intercepted on their way forward.
Alerty's searching.
Make it 7.
Big task to kick it over the top of Haynes and land it with Kako.
7 intercept marks to Carlton. Only 1 to Essendon.
Haynes, statistically wise, in terms of intercept, getting back to those numbers that he produced when he was All-Australian. He's got a friendly kick to kick at the moment. Roberts into the middle. He might do the same. Disturbed. And it goes to Williams. Sharp kick, too sharp. He had to leave his man Pryor and he knew it. And then he tried to get aggressive himself. He uses Robertson. Now some control.
That's as poor an exhibition of kicking as we've seen for the year, that last 3 minutes.
Lual, Setterfield and Caldwell. Essendon had a much longer warm-up than you typically see for all their kicking drills. It was better when there was no opposition.
They might have left all their good ones out there, Jerry.
Might have. Up to half-forward to Cody, imposes himself in the pack.
That's 8 intercept marks. They can't, well, where possible, they can't go long, high and slow like that. Not with this team that they've got.
Wiedering, so the switch is right on here. Shearer.
The only thing is, they've got Caddy and they've got Wright. So, those boys need to either connect better with their midfielders, do a better job at least bring the ball to ground, creating a contest.
And the zag back. Silvani. Haynes. And he can have a go. Looks up. Sees Curnow. Got it on the second bite. Desperate to release. Hewitt. Sets it out the side for Lord. Can he find the right kick? He can, and Motlop. He gives it off, and Charlie might bang through his seconds. He's got a taste of it, and so are the Blues.
He's getting some freedom, Charlie. When he goes outside 50, Jay Laverde's very conscious of getting sucked up the field with him, so he stays around 50 and waits for Charlie to come back in, but he's giving him too much leg rope. And then in time, he was just able to pick up that touch in the middle of the ground, then get the handball back and receive. You just see him just floating along on his own. There's no accountability there by Laverde. Look at that. You just cannot let a player have that ability to be able to roam freely from 50.
So it was a really good kick hit up to Motlop, who marked it amongst 4 Essendon defenders, and then just watch the Essendon defenders when Motlop marks his footy. There's no thought about what's going on here. Curnow starts to wrap around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Surrounded him. Not one turned their head to see Charlie Curnow swinging around the back with his right foot. So they've given up 8 intercept marks. That's up there with the best quarter ever under Michael Voss's coaching.
And it's quite the jump now. 28 points. Early rising was Dakota, but Terra was able to pick it anyway. Walsh, Martin had to go back with it. Motlop threatening again. Laverde, Cincotta, Cripps prowling. Dursman knew what was coming. It was just as fierce as he would have expected.
Good tackle.
Taconi, connection. Williams couldn't quite shake it off completely. Cincotta, it was awkward. As he jumped up, he was vulnerable to reach for it. Just holding on here, the Bombers' defence.
And what they need to be aware of Essendon right now is look up the ground to see if they win possession. It's Silvani on his own and Doherty just off the back of the pack.
Taconi broke clear. Walsh, Cripps, can't quite. Walsh gets a second look. Taconi, the big guns all involved. Slide from Laverde was timely, and Martin looks it through. He penalised for it. It was only went to foot, but
They do say outside of 3 metres is the measure that the umpires work on. If you're inside the 9.
and around goes Williams to make it really hurt. They did not need that, Essendon. It's been hard enough going as it was. And Carlton has 6 goals and Essendon just the solitary. It's out to 34 points now.
Well, that'll roll the Essendon supporters up. Matt Stevico, very experienced grand final umpire. So they do say if it's close to goal, the measure they work off's about 3 metres. If you haven't got an opposition player within 3 metres, which there wasn't, that is deliberately through. So look at that, you get the measuring tape out. It's right on 3 metres, I reckon, Gaz. But Matt Stevics decided to go with it.
Your measurements will do me, Brownie. Your eye measurement will do me. There's no pressure. That's the line there. He wasn't under any immediate pressure whatsoever. And had he stopped and turned around just on the line, he would have realised that. But he took it through, and they're staring down the barrel of a 34-point deficit.
I think it's fair enough. I'm comfortable with that.
Ruckman shared it. Goldstein, Durham, Setterfields. Got to give the Bombers a look up front. Sets it up deep. Guelphy's too big an opponent in Silvani against him.
That's 9 intercept marks for the quarter.
Fogarty's the target on the way out. And pass to Lords. Fogarty stays viable. Finds Cripps up the line. Setterfield did just enough to disrupt. and sticks the tackle. Carroll releases. Fogarty chased down by Luai.
The forward coach for the Bombers, I'm just going down having a quiet word with you big boys.
Yeah.
You've got Caddy there. Caddy's having a bit of a spell at the moment, so we can't blame him for that last one, but Peter Wright's there, and he'll do a better job of being able to bring it to ground. Guelphy's playing a smaller forward role as well.
Durham on the break. Luau being harassed every step of the way. Holland's the last to hold it.
So Guelphy playing is the deepest, sort of smaller full forward role, but if you are playing that role, you need to do everything you possibly can to bring that ball to ground.
Koning using all of his youthful exuberance against Geldstein at the moment. Parrish stripped of the footy. Lord held on too long.
First game back for the season for Darcy Parish.
So here's your first test, Brownie. It's Peter Wright up here. He just has to compete.
Falls a bit short, but he charges out. Almost worked in his favour. Silvani, though, attempted as always. Kako flings it out the back to centre field. Parish had the best look as to what was ahead. There wasn't much. Wright almost held on. Almost. Not quite. Blues. They're busy through Silvani and Akers. Saab won't have long. Kako bearing down. So it's a rush kick. Clark.
Take your time, good lad. He's just telling himself to slow down here. So he started at half back. I'm not sure that's the position for the young man. Maybe he's got a reprieve, or maybe he's just defending high there with McGovern. But can go back here and do what he did so very, very well here a few weeks ago.
Left out his footy dream in the dream time. It's 3 goals. He's really needed something better there. Unfortunately, pulls it a little left.
There's lots to like about Carlton in this first quarter. Sam Walsh is the one they'd be thrilled with. Back to his best, had 9 touches, 6 score involvements.
Incredibly efficient too, Carlton team. So 13 inside 50s for 10 shots a goal. Just haven't seen that all season from Carlton.
Duckney's been dropped a couple of times this season, so staring at his footy mortality. We'll give them a look up the line. O'Keefe will have to come from a long way back. He won't reach it. Clark didn't deal with it though. Akers had a mind to get it to Cripps, who'd gone over. What a splendid sight the MCG is, in hope of a much tighter clash than we've seen so far. The Blues have had the power button pressed right from the outset. Shearer wins another clearance for them. Curno's been the good way home. O'Keefe set himself. Bombers had an extra at the drop. McGrath. This is Robertson back. McGrath out to Martin.
Very good by Carlton defensively. Blocked up the corridor.
A whole lot to work with. So short to Perkins. His problem now. Confronted. Has to get it away up the line. Silvani worked underneath the Guelphy. Wins one back against Silvani. And then quick to release. Martin kept on coming. Wright's got to rise. Couldn't take the mark. And de Koning whisks it away. Saad going full throttle the wrong way. That'll take some hooking. No good.
They just converged on Peter Wright there. 4 Carlton defenders.
Martin moved it. He aimed up centre field, but Carroll drops back where he needed to go. And that's another opportunity wasted by Essendon.
Intercept, I sound like a record. That's 10 intercept marks for the quarter.
Carroll goes wide out to the wing. McGovern and the Carlton fans thought he was interfered with. Clark knew where the line was.
So that's going to be a focus for them going forward. You're right, they're going to be more competitive in the air, and Guelphy was able to take a mark, contest the mark, but they're better off kicking to some space. If they haven't got a matchup they think that they can at least halve.
Back into play with Goldstein at front, but Shearer perfectly positioned to send them forward, but again to the extremities. It might have just bounced inside the line, but they'll only have 8 seconds, so they'll have to be pretty darn good from here. 6 goals, they'd be pretty happy with that. In the opening term, Carlton. They've won 8 first quarters for the year, so this will be a 9th. Don't forget how many times they've given things away after half-time, so they certainly still have an air of anxiety about things. McGrath back to Martin and then to the wing. That'll just about complete proceedings for the opening term. And the Carlton fans stand to applaud Patrick Cripps and the Carlton side because they have put their best foot forward. What a start at the MCG. It's a Victory's Eve game. 6-4-40, Essendon 1-1-7. It's a 33-point lead.
All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. It's quarter time here at the MCG. I tell you what, Carlton are absolutely tearing up Essendon here. This youngster Essendon side apparently got quite a few young, fresh players in. Carlton looking magnificent. That's the best I've seen Carlton look for a while. 6-4-40, leading the Bombers 1-1-7. Welcoming everyone. Mentral, Country, Outliner, and Mooma. How you doing? How you doing? And of course, everyone else in the chat. Hey, don't forget to vote who you think's going to win. We've got 57% Essendon fans in the house. 43% say Carlton. There we go. Hey, just before we go any further, let's just have a look and see where these two teams sit on the ladder. Of course, Essendon here sitting in 10th, still a game in hand on 24 points. I tell you what, this is a game. They were going to struggle to win, but this is a game they were hoping to win to get level pegging with the top 8, even though their percentage is down. This is one they didn't really want to drop. And, of course, Carlton sitting down there in 15th position, 16 points. They win tonight. They will jump up into 11th, 15th to 11th, as we'll see if we turn the live ladder on where they're sitting at the moment. They'll remain 10 and 11, Carlton's big jump. Let's just have a quick look at some of the ins and outs for the teams because we didn't really see prior to the match. Jack Silvani for Carlton coming in, Hudson O'Keefe, Zach Williams, Fantasia and Sin Cotter coming in for the Blue Baggers, going out O'Farrell, Lewis Young, Jackson Binns, Corey Durden, Harry Mackay. New players, Hudson O'Keefe, of course, his debut game there for Carlton. I do like Harry Mackay is out. I've never been a big fan of when Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow play together. I think they just interrupt each other and they always look better when there's just one. Of course, Charlie looking great out there this evening. Of course, for the Bombers, Lure, there we go, in and Darcy Parish coming in. Sats is going out with Redmond. Lul is the new player. That's his debut game, and of course he scored a goal. He was a happy boy out there this evening with his family in the grandstands cheering him on. Well done, Dersma, celebrating his 100th there for the Bombers. There are the lineups there. I'll tell you what, wowee. That's all I can say. Carlton, what a fantastic beginning. Let's have a look at the goal scorers so far. Charlie Curnow, as I said, started fantastic. 2 goals, 1 he's kicked in the opening term. I think he could be in for a big one. Zach Williams, Adam Sard, Jesse Motlop, Mitch McGovern, singles for the Blues. And, of course, Law is the only goal scorer there for the Bombers, the debut player. Fantastic, well done. Sam Walsh for the Blues, leading the way on 9 disposals out on the ground in the first quarter, 4 kicks, 5 handballs, 3 clearances. Darcy Parish, Andy McGrath for the Bombers, next best on 8. Doing good. Cooper Lord, Blake Akers on 8 also for the Blue Bagger. Sam Doherty, there we go, he's on 7. Adam Sard, I think he was the first goal scorer of the match. He's had 6 touches, 5 kicks, 1 goal. TDK, Tom DeConey, he's just had the 6 at the moment. Paddy Cripps, well, he's been around about the play, doing reasonably well. 6 touches, 5 kicks for the superstar Paddy Cripps. Let's see who else we've got. Charlie Curnow, as I said, started well. 4 touches, 3 kicks, 1 handball, 3 marks. He's grabbing the ball well. 2 goals, 1. Kicking pretty good off the boot. Kako, we need a big game from him for the Bombers. 3 touches, just the 3 handballs. That is it. It'll be quite, as I said, Carlton are just sort of opening up the Bombers early in this game. And I tell you what, wowee. If it keeps going like this could be a runaway victory. We know Essendon started off reasonably slow in the last match and got home pretty good. let's hope the Bombers can come back a little bit more anyway, and make a game of this. We don't want this to be a whitewash type of game. We want the Bombers to get back, score a couple of goals early, get a little bit of confidence happening in their team, which would be great, and make a great spectacle, tight game of this one. You never know what's going to happen though, folks. It's Carlton here by 33 points at quarter time. We'll see what's going on. Don't forget to vote and vote who you think's going to win this game. Don't forget, while we're waiting, you can hit that like, the thumbs up button for me. I always appreciate that. All right, folks, let's get back down to the ground for the second quarter. We should be starting in just a moment. It is the Blue Baggers by 33.
Their forward 50 efficiency, their ability to score once they go inside 50 has been horrible. Today, 13 inside 50s for 10 shots, so incredibly efficient, and this is part of the reason they get good looks inside 50.
It started beautifully. That man Sam Walsh has had an outstanding first quarter. He's back to his best grounding, so 9 touches, he's had 6 score involvements, highest on the ground, playing back in the middle where he belongs. Just got to let him run and work. They took 10 intercept marks in that first quarter to 3, so Essendon have got to tidy up when they go forward. Got to be much more selective in the way they move the footy, and they've got to get some pace and speed on the ball. Only taken 17 uncontested marks. They average 86 for the game. They like to possess the ball. Probably got to get back to that at some stage. Move it quick, possess it, uncontested marks.
Last week, the Bombers were down 6-3 to 1-1 at quarter time at the Gabba. On the 8-minute mark of the last quarter, they were in front, so they need something similar. 6-4 to 1-1, entering the second term at the G. DeConing clearly down to Hewitt.
Didn't contest the ball.
Against Goldstein. If anyone knows the dark arts of the ruck contest that is Todd Goldstein, and it's all the rule variations that he's seen. Keeps the target, he brought it to ground and then stuck the tackle. Durham against the flow. Caldwell's going to find the way out. It's another intercept mark, Gaz. Did you get the count tonight?
I'm on the count. That's 11. You can't blast away like that.
11 intercept marks. Hewitt sends it up to full forward. Motlop trying to get a run. Almost two. McGrath. Calming influence. Llewell's going to keep it away from Motlop. Motlop stuck the tackle. Released over the boundary with insufficient intent to keep it in. On the line. Silvani will get... Oh, dear. Hit a professional.
It's one of your Shanks kids. He's normally a pretty handy kick, Jack Silvani. Very unusual. Let's see their ball moving out. Carlton's been very good defensively. Been able to stop Essendon from being able to move the ball. They blocked up the corridor really well.
McGrath gives it everything he's got. The ruckman locked up, take care of each other right. Had an opportunity, that's gone. Silvani has a couple. Walsh continues to accumulate this time. Gobbled up quickly. And the scrap moves 5 or 10 metres. Back to the low. Cherry goes down. Really wanted a bit of biff.
Have a look at that. We'll just see who gets hands on the footy, and if that's collected the head, he's made a decision there to bump Sam Durham. So when you make that decision, you are vulnerable. If he's hit him in the head, which it appears he has, I'm not sure you can defend that, Brownie. Had he had hands down trying to pick the footy up, you try and make a case, but...
We know he's a tough, hard player, Sam Durham, but he made the wrong decision there. Just wonder whether the boys have been stirred up.
And he'll be praying that Chera's okay. Short to Holland, stabs the pass. I'm sure they'll check it shortly. Walsh. Hearing inside the 50. First look was where Curnow was, and second was DeConing. End up in the same proximity.
Like that there, they are just checking this out, the doctors. So
I'm very surprised if he doesn't get called off. After what we've seen the last few weeks, you'd expect him to be called off in the next couple of minutes.
Goldstein preferring the front. Oh, what was that?
A couple of moments early in this last quarter that we haven't seen too often. Jack Silvani shank and then a volley into deep into the crowd. So here it is. And that
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble. That is a dangerous act from Sam Durham. As much as I love that man, as much as any in the league, that's a dangerous act.
McGrath down the line. Holland's hands were quick and effective. Back through Hewitt to Wiedering, who was waiting, but then had to rush the kick. Touch, so it's play on from De Koning, which he does through Hewitt. Sard again, already a goal tonight. High ball, equal numbers. Oh, he's got it, O'Keefe.
I've liked his foot round. It was awkward the way he marked it, but he's competed really strongly, even at ground level as well. Nice mark. I think there might be his second contested mark for the day.
Doesn't take the shot. He must have been so tempted. High boy back there. Big fly. Quick hands Fogarty. And adjusted well Roberts. Mark making the defensive act of getting things out of there as quick smart.
Silvani sets himself against Caddy. And they'll all just be tempted to keep that in. Akers is tempted to take it out.
So just a couple of possessions for Nate Caddy. Opportunities haven't been plentiful at the moment.
So Chera hasn't been called just yet.
Well, the doctor's just walked up to the bench. Looks like he's going to try and get him off.
Cripps and Doherty are the two waiting to come on. De Koning got out of the wrestle. Hewitt released. Akers doubled back and found a path through. Gives the forwards a look. Curnow to the fronts. Almost. Martin tackled by Curnow. They're buzzing around underneath. Gresham through it. Pryor's got to run it out. Roberts got to run it out. Turned over. Carroll caressed the pass. Not to great effect initially. Gresham onto it. Oh, got it. Oh, in and out of the tackle. Stayed alive.
Jesse Motlop's been much better. He's had an ordinary season, but tonight he's playing with great energy. He's trying to work into the game defensively. We saw him take a mark in the first quarter deep in defence. His chase and tackle pressure has been outstanding. That's how you'll eventually get rewarded offensively.
And more competitive in the air, Brownie, as well. Yeah. Much more competitive and hard to play against.
And on starvation rations for the past 5 matches. Has an early goal and is busy. De Koning, a bit ungainly. Caldwell, Durham, centre field to clear the area. Fell as he did so.
Let's see if they can change some angles here. Can't go down the line, Essendon. Got to try and change, find the middle of the ground. Carlton very much aware and awake. And if it goes slow, it's going to make it really hard.
Well, plays it back. So they will well spread the Blues defence.
And Clark in the middle of the ground. Still got him in the middle of the ground. This is the kick.
Reverting into Clark. Oh, very aggressive. And allowed Sard to get in there and intervene. Akers had no awareness that Kako was coming. Durham looks to make good while he can, and he can. Wealthy.
And that kick from Clark was... What did you call it, Hutter? Did you call it ambitious or dangerous? It wasn't a great kick in the end. But it gives them their best way forward because eventually it goes to ground and then you're not getting intercept marked and then you get a tackle from Kako, turns the footy over and they get a shot at goal. So I'd much rather than be a little bit audacious and take some sort of risk and err on the side of the ground than hand it back in the air.
Third game back for Matt Guelphy. He's the 6th oldest bomber playing tonight. His primary role, even though he's up forward, is a defensive one. And on a night like tonight, everyone who gets the chance has to take it, and as close as he could, he can't.
Just put the post.
First score took 7 minutes of the second term.
It's the first inside 52.
It's the instant bounce, the double back, and finds the target. Holland gets it moving around the worn side of the G. Motlop on the long lead, punched away by McGrath.
So that's good. Yeah, good by McGrath there. They need to be high alert, take away the uncontested marks for Carlton. So just see the medical staff there for Carlton who clearly chatting about Chera. I'm surprised he hasn't come off yet.
Well, if they want him off, Brownie, he hasn't come off, then that's a failure in the system. So wait and hear, find out what's going on. Just yank him off if they want to have a look at him.
They fight at the source. Piling in from all sorts of angles. Dersma tried to make something of it. Merritt, sharp hands. Perkins went backwards. Didn't quite work. Clark against the grain. Works it around to Dersma. Searches for the target that is Merritt. Too far out himself. So the next kick is the one. Give them a look at the top of the square, right? We'll have to make the contest against 3. Doherty first access, left it behind Hobbs. Parrish taken around in the tackle.
So at least they maintained that ball in their half for the last 3 or 4 minutes. So repeat entries, and tackle pressure in forward 50.
See if they can eat into the deficit. Kako trying to barrel through. Released. Parrish won't have the same luxury.
Yeah, he really sharked that off Tom McConey. He put it straight down Kako's throat. Read it beautifully.
Goldstein kept it in tight. Buried down there. Cherish still staying out there for now. Doing his want. Neither Ruffin touched it. That usually pros problem for one team. It was a free and it was loosely taken by De Koning as his away. Johnson gets dragged down and he didn't dispose of it correctly. Got attention by Lord.
That's all right. They just can't let Carlton transition here. So they've got to continue to build pressure. Be prepared to play a bit dirty here. Keep the ball in your half.
Those fans didn't like the replay. They like that though from the captain. Merritt cuts off, gave it to Martin. He handballed somewhere in between Goldstein and Caddy. Again, Ward on the job with a tackle. And they lock it away inside the forward 50 for now, just rumbling around. Hard to get any meaningful possession. Hewitt did a pretty fine job. Makes clear. Motlop's kick. Williams now. Early rise. McGovern, excellent. Is over to hang. Pacing inside 50 is Orazio Fantasia. He waits, he can't hope, but he was interfered with.
Well, it's not funny, but he was gone for all money from centre field. So.
It was a good chase, wasn't it? He looked back and he thought, I'm the last line of defence. He ran out of that stopping centre field, free kick every day of the week.
But you've got to go back to this where it was for about 3 minutes, and that was in Essendon's forward line, and they worked hard and Merritt intercepted and got it back in again, and then it was one handball out, and then they're gone. Williams is on it. It's down the other end of the ground and they're having a shot. It's too easy.
Orazio Fantasia as we watch Chera in the conversation with the doctor. Suspect he'll be coming on for a proper check in a moment. Looked good in the pre-season, Orazio, and then pinged a calf just on the eve of the start of the 2025 home and away season. One of the better ball users for Carlton. That's why he's back. Got to display that now. Back at the MCG in front of a big crowd. Steers it through. That'll be a huge relief. More disappointment for Essendon. The ex-bomber puts it through.
So this is what I'm talking about here. So they've got this in here for 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden this handball and he's out. So it's Merritt who's the one that's probably not defensively switched on. And that's a mark against the young man that's trying to make his way as a defender, which is fine. He'll get better and better. But they've got to close those exit down. From the other way, Essendon tried to exit their D50 25 times, and only 3 times have they got it inside 50. Yet that happens, Browning. Too easy from one end to the other.
Yeah, it was a little quick kick out of congestion, wasn't it? Again, Motlop involved in the defensive half. Good jump, good early jump by McGovern. We know he does that well. Gets it moving. Has a good awareness that he's got a free open field ahead of him.
Leeds going to 38 points. De Koning clear tap. Parrish, though, against the flow. Sends the Bombers forward. Sard worked Kako underneath and quite acrobatically got it onto his boot. Pitched on its point. Duursma had it stolen by Fantasia. Akers on the turn. Sard charging up. Kako will get out the back. What can he find, the youngster? Hand pass to Parrish. Took a little while. Pokes it forward, not to any great effect. Motlop working in defence again, but Hobbs trickles it across the face.
I don't know what Goldie was doing there. Goldie trying to tap that forward.
Sard down in the back play.
Accidental.
Blow to the face. Dusted himself off. He's heading up to the stoppage. Essendon going to come up with a goal. That was surely it should have been called back once it hit Guelphy's head. That was ludicrous. Clark dance around. Caldwell tipped away. Pryor has a go. It's a real mess for the Bombers at the moment. Pressure everywhere.
And they're trying to, that last stoppage, so they haven't scored a single point from stoppage. They've only kicked a goal for the game, but it's 25 to none from stoppage at the moment.
Last week, 8 goals from stoppage.
They haven't got a single point.
Goldstein fiercely hit it down to Hobbs. Deep to the square. Too tall for Caddy. Doherty with plenty of support. Akers runs, waits, and stretches the handball out for Doherty. Tough one to handle down low. Overrun really by the Bombers. Dersma, Martin, Caddy. Like last week's shot for goal. Well, this was a fair way out. Hewitt didn't mark. Recovery from Chera, who's staying out there. Silvani kicking back to the defensive goal.
That's a great kick from Silvani. Look at this, field's open up.
It has, as they've been trying to do all night, the Blues. The switch effective. Kerner had to reach for it. Setterfield there. He's defending everyone at the moment.
He's covering everyone.
Not by design.
He done well there, though. Held him up.
He did. Big forward handball along the line. That's okay to Walsh. Turns. Good running from Haynes. Great ball movement again for the Blues. O'Keefe is the target. Batted away cleverly by McGrath. Johnson slipping it to Clark. A couple of the teenagers combine. Up to the wing to the veteran Parrish. Gets there just before Silvani.
That is a great kick from Clark.
Again, Carlton well set up beyond the ball, though.
And pass to Caldwell to try to break the line. He'd give them a look inside 50. Perkins has got company. Decisively from Weeder.
Yeah, they've been really disciplined. So they've been able to block the corridor, but they've been able to quickly get numbers back beyond the ball. So Essendon, when they go forward, quite often outnumbered by 2 or 3. Still reviewing the Chera incident, the Carlton Medicos.
It's a little perplexing. It would have taken 3 minutes, 10 minutes ago to get a definitive answer.
Well, the Carlton camp actually deemed him all clear, so chose not to concussion test him.
Merritt, Warbler, Dersma flung himself at it, couldn't hang on. Guelphy opens a few possibilities, good kick. And Caldwell ran it right away.
That's what it was, broken play. Just need to keep the ball alive. Good effort by Guelphy. Caldwell followed up there. Needs to kick this desperately. They have had some territory this quarter, guys.
Yep.
They get in there, they just haven't been able to hit the scoreboard.
They had some repeat entries, which is, some forward half pressures and open them to come back inside 50, but it's got to find a way here.
5 coaches' votes last week. A statistically remarkable third term. Jai Caldwell, this is just a must for the Bombers' cause. And he dobs it. 32-point deficits.
Yeah, really good effort. So needed that desperate. They've been under a huge amount of pressure. Carlton going at 235 this quarter, pressure-wise. So, but they've been able to lock it in. There's the Docs still talking about the Chera situation. This happened about 10 minutes ago, but we'll concentrate on Essendon here for a minute. They just had to scramble the play. Good effort by Guelphy. Just Dersby gets back there, and then Guelphy gets over to support. Just keep the ball alive. Get it back into the corridor. Bit of a speculator. Caldwell's the man that turns up, goes back and kicks that goal. This hopefully can ignite the Bombers back into this game.
Well, they've got to keep telling themselves that Carlton have been vulnerable at times this year, that they have given up leads throughout the course of the year. So keep sending that message to one another out on the ground. Just chip away, chip away. It's dried up a little bit. So the 5, they kicked 6 goals in the first quarter. It's only 1 so far this quarter. So that's the first thing. They've stopped the bleeding.
1 each. We'll get to Ruby in just a moment. Setterfield can't break through. Cripps fires it out. Swing and a miss from Horatio there. Hobbs through the middle. Planted it well. Durham. Get the booze, you would think, but they're not vociferous as they thought they might have been. He's placed it pretty well. Perkins hasn't been a factor yet. That's going to be 50. Will be now.
They've had a good 3 or 4 minutes here. So chip away, chip away, chip away.
Ward Mooney again. It's the second 50-metre penalty received.
You went to the mark instead.
I'm glad they've cracked down on this, Jared, because this is a problem early in the season. The creep from all the clubs.
Perkins been a regular contributor this year. 11 goals, 3. Also 6 assists. Goals in just 2 games. Has to convert an opportunity like this to put 2 on the board quickly and put a little bit of pressure back on Carlton to make them respond.
Yeah, we saw this last week. Good fight by the Bombers. They've come out at it. Quarter time was a bit of a scramble the first 15 minutes of the quarter, but now they've been able to kick a couple in 2 minutes, so they get a forward. They have Little Lord, so he moves backwards off the mark. I'm glad they've cracked down this, the AFL. If you're there on the mark, you should have to stand from the get-go, which the AFL have clearly had a look at that. It has a big impact on what goes on behind the ball and defenders' ability to get back and cover, which the AFL don't want. So that's good. That's a 50-minute penalty every day of the week.
It's probably having an impact already. Down to you, Ruby.
Well, 10 minutes after the initial incident, the doctors finally took Adam Chera down into the rooms for that HIA. An interesting one, given that the Carlton camp did say he was given the all clear, but then opting to take him down there. So we'll watch how this plays out.
I wonder what direction they might have gone out of the arc. Parrish. The Bombers to come forward again, although that's a real wobbler out near the wing. Dersma Akers. Akers got his fist through it. Durham opens it up for Dersma to keep on going. Can they get a mark inside 50? Wiedering held his ground. Did he hold? He was being held by aggression.
This much there.
The Chera thing is ridiculous. If in fact he is having the test right now, that is a failure of the system. Get that kid off the ground straight away and test him.
Wiedering to a pack.
And whether he says he's right.
Combined, didn't clear the area. Wright tried, that's not a bad idea. Dersma couldn't get it to Parrish. A real jumble. Hollands wore the tackle.
It's incumbent upon Essendon to put some doubt back into Carlton's mind. They did pretty much what they wanted in that first quarter. They've got to ask the questions of their kicking, of their inability to transfer the ball one end to the other and score. They've got to get some doubt back in their mind, and the last 3 or 4 minutes, they're just starting to put that doubt there.
Stoppage wins are big. Centre field in the caddy direction. It's a bit shallow. Another intercept. No, not a mark.
That's what it is, Jerry. You're spot on. It's the stoppage wins. The last 10 minutes especially. That's allowed them territory. Just keep pressuring up Carlton. All the defenders will be on the back foot here.
9-4 this quarter. Clearance.
O'Keefe works his way around. So I've got it going goal side though. Akers Doherty off the last line. Hoiked it up. Dersma actually good in the air. Walsh caught. Now surely that's insufficient intent. The whole stadium saw it.
So they've got to cash in here. It's really important they cash in on the back of this momentum. Close this gap even more.
Caddy's the deep targets. Perkins sends it there. Caddy can't get a run at it. And Carroll diffuses the ball.
Dashing leap from Carroll. Margin was as high as 38. Not forgetting they gave up a 41-point lead against Richmond. A loss that really sent them back as a team and as a club a bit as well. Hewitt up to the wing. Curnow in front. He judged it well. He was trying to draw the free from Laverty. Fogarty denied by Clark. Comes back with a vengeance with a big tackle. Laverty, and then it's tapped over by O'Keefe. Dersma under in your shoulder and I think just popping it straight back in.
Martin Riggs.
Yeah, lethal weapon. Lethal weapon was on last night too. I think he smashed against the locker though.
Hasn't been on for a while, Brownie.
No. It was on last Saturday night too, I think.
Cripps has the footy.
So
I think they'll be playing Die Hard at Christmas.
10 of the last 11 inside 50s have been Essendon's way. So this is a little momentum swing here. So protect the ball for Carlton.
So the Blues experienced players should understand that. From Doherty to Hollands. Akers has drifted down to the left if he wants to be more direct. DeConey had a spell. He's back out there now. He's the target of the kick. Bombers defenders knew it. Charlie just lurking. Durham keeps it in. Probably inevitably was going to come back.
Well, this is where you've got to work for Charlie here. I mean, he started really well, but has a tendency to drift out of games. This is who you've got to isolate.
Haynes places it. Durham. Fantasia. McGovern. They inch closer. Williams and Cripps. Martin was the escort. Did enough. In fact, it's going to be out of bounds on the full, so the margin still stands at 26.
A period of attack turns to some defending for the Bombers. Martin, the greatest of kicks on the way out. Another intercept, Marquez.
13.
We have the man, don't we? Haynes lofts it back in. What have the Blues got in there? De Koning punched away by Goldstein. Lord underneath to the teeth of goal. Akers cleared the way, couldn't hang on. And stripped of the ball. Parrish gave it up. Motlop with a chance. Too much curl.
They're just scrapping. They're scrapping hard here, Essendon. You've got to give them some credit. They're scrapping really hard. Making it difficult for the Blues in their forward 50. Clagging it up. Getting numbers back. No space. Now they've got to see if they can transition.
Hard to believe that was going to push in the back a few moments ago.
Jared's gone. Aaron Healy's just jumped off the couch.
Pryor out to Dersma and Akers, who are the two involved. And Doherty joins them with a timely fixed.
It was 14 minutes, Gaz, for the record, from Chera with the initial hit to when he was taken off the
and
ground.
he might be okay, which we hope he is. But just you rotate these blokes that regularly, get him off the ground and do your test. And if he's fine, get him back on in a minute. Wait for 14 minutes. What sort of risk is that?
Just keeping an eye on Corval. Durham leads Hewitt to the ball, and Merritt saw the open path through. Couldn't combine with Parrish. Swift from Fogarty to Hewitt. So Carlton attack again. Here comes Curnow. Tapped it down to Cripps. If he meant that, it was genius. And unfortunately, doesn't get.
Going with a side like this.
Perkins drew a crowd. Walsh popped it up. Gresham got hold of it. Then Walsh got hold of it.
It's their best ground ball result in a quarter for the year. That gets you back into the contest.
The willingness that we saw at the Gabba in the previous rounds. Walsh took the territory up ahead. Williams flings it up. There's Tollins. Caldwell had it knocked away by Hewitt. Chera back to the bench. A bit of marking around his right eye.
A little bit of a shiner brewing.
I think this is what the Voss want. It's certainly been arm wrestle. This is what Brad Scott would want from his developing midfield. This younger midfield, this tougher midfield.
Hewitt creative, Hollands overwhelmed. And the Bombers will bring it away. Durham with a nice kick. Well for the quick release, but not to advantage. Doherty pushes the other way. Hewitt with a chance to set the Blues up. They've got some space and numbers on the wing. Don't use them. Motlop instead on the lead. He's been busy tonight. He's got Williams. Oh, it slipped through his fingers.
He's lucky with his own there. Eddie McGrath committed forward and should have stayed. So Williams was on his own. It was an easy one going begging there. Just thought he had pressure on his back there, but Pryor was about 5 metres off him.
It'll be deflating for the Bombers after all their hard work. That's exactly what Carlton want to do, though. Well, I've got the handball away. Durham, it's getting greasier, it feels like at the moment. Spinning through, Parrish received it. Just pumps it out of there. Which way will the ball bounce? Favours Akers. Hobbs was attentive. Put the pressure on Akers. Eyes only for the share and went to ground and then mauled by Martin Hyde.
They've been untidy there. They had some numbers and support.
Little gap for the pass. No, not held by free kick to Walsh. Oh, maybe the outer zone umpire has paid it here.
Yeah, wow, that was missed. That was missed. The umpire closest was going to apply on. I suspect the other one's
That is because in the forward pocket, deep in the pocket, he actually had a pretty good view of it.
Just the arm over the right shoulder here. Just a bit line ballish, really, but you can pay it. No problem.
He's the punch in the back of the head, maybe.
Yeah, a bit quieter. Sammy Walsh this quarter.
15 disposals for the night. And if we are going to see Carlton make a run in the back half of the season, lot of it will be on the shoulders of players like Sam Walsh, and they'll need to kick a little better than that have got.
He certainly moved well tonight, though, Gaz.
Yep.
There's always questions, how's his fitness, how's his health? Has he got a crook back? But he's moved the best tonight.
Caddy comes from behind to affect a spoil, at least on Silvani.
And he's a midfielder, Brownie. He's a long-baller. He's a centre square midfielder who run, carry and push his opponent from one end to the other and get some space. So it's been good to see. It's been good from Essendon too. 2 goals to 1. Just stop the run. They've stopped the run. Now they've got to get to work offensively.
Goldstein tripped over. De Koning trying to put Cripps into space. A bit too much on it.
Good battle. Pretty good job, Setterfield. He's kept Cripps had 10 disposals at the moment. No great effect. There's Chera just waiting to come back on. Looks like he's passed the concussion test.
2:22 to go. De Koning rid of Goldstein. Sweeps the hand pass. Didn't do Walsh any favours. Got speared as he was trying to get through. Setterfield, sharp release. Dersma up to Caldwell. Bombers haven't been forward for a while, and this won't get them forward either. De Koning will plant it. Sard switches on to Lord, but it wouldn't really gain much territory. But it's all that's on offer. Doherty hairs off into space. Hollins works up to the wing, but Doherty doesn't go. Initially, he does now. This covers the requisite 15. The kick mark, and now up to a contest. Curno's right in the middle of it. Laverde knocked it down. Martin lends a hand. In the tackle, lost it. So Lord, Blues come in the Motlop direction. He's busy out the back. Motlop swoops, stepped out of the tackle, got tripped over. De Koning will make good. The Blues do get the late one. And that inflicts a wound on the Bombers.
Yeah, that's what we saw from Carlton early in the first. But all to him, good build-up by Carlton. That was Carlton's best build-up in this second quarter. Haven't seen a huge amount of flow, been able to hit the scoreboard. Just when you think Essendon were dragging themselves off the canvas and back into the game, Carlton kicks the goal, and they've scored more this quarter than Essendon have.
Just his 3rd goal for the season, Tom De Koning. Strong contribution from that man, Jesse Motlop. So back in the middle, they worked hard for that goal, Carlton. Bit of a rearguard action after the Bombers have done the same. So a big minute 14 remaining. They can take care of each other. Setterfield. The floater fell short. Perkins.
Essendon, your kick, Jai.
Going to Caldwell rather than Perkins against Doherty. Have to get home quickly. Caddy hasn't been a factor yet. Still not at the back. Guelphy kept it in. Question for a moment. Sard charging through. Full steam. Kick those marked by Durham.
Yeah, Caddy and Wright both haven't been able to get involved. Wright's looking for the short one here.
And charging out right. He's got the free.
Yeah, well, at least he keeps presenting. That's the key for it. Hasn't had a great half, but you just got to keep presenting. Late in the quarter, now he must go back and kick this to give his side some hope going into the half-time break. Just coming up for his fifth disposal.
Up against Jacob Wiedering. There's no possession that is easily won. Striking out there. Frustrated was the Carlton gun defender. But Peter Wright, 13 goals, 9 in his 7 games. To give the Bombers a win in the corner. That's what they needed to provide at least some hope right on the bell at half-time. Carlton's lead is trimmed to 28. And that, given their history this year, will give Essendon some reason for hoping to work with. As Adam Cherry, one of the stories of the first half, and his clash with Sam Durham. Looks like he's going to have the okay to play on.
So two different styles in those quarters, weren't they? And Carlton drawn into a real battle, which is where they've spent most of the season. After being able to get a quarter of free-flowing and intercept footy going.
And it hit 9 times at halftime this year, Carlton, but only winning 4 of those 9.
Each is scarred on the psyche of every Carlton supporter watching too, so I wonder about the team. The Bombers just had to get something out of that term, didn't they? There's no question in the willingness. They're doing it with a bit of a makeshift team at the moment.
Let's get down to Ruby. Looks like she's cornered the Carlton captain.
Sure have. Paddy, hot first half. How's it felt out there?
Yeah, it's been solid. Obviously, we started really well, which we wanted to do, and felt like they probably got a bit of momentum back in that quarter, but yeah, pleased at half time.
Really noticeable difference with the way you guys are moving the ball inside 50. What do you feel that difference is that you've taken into this game?
We just tried to probably use the ball, make the ground big and wide, and take the options rather than bomb it too much. So, guys are backing their skills here. We did a bit of work over the break, so it's good to kick a few goals in the first half. But the key is to keep it going now for the whole game.
Good luck for the second.
Thanks, George.
The margin is 28, so the Blues doing as was designed by their coach after the break. The Bombers, lots of work to do. We'll analyse it all when we come back. It's a huge Sunday night at the MCG.
All right, there we go. Half time. The Bombers came back a little bit. G'day, Mark. How you going, brother? Yeah, I hope we are ready and set for tomorrow's big game. Of course, Collingwood versus Melbourne, MCG. The big freeze, King's birthday, or King's holiday. Public holiday here. You got to like a public holiday. Essendon will do better in the third, but I think Carlton might get them the last quarter. JJ, how you doing? Welcome in, Eddie G. Look, we can only hope the Bombers put up a fight in the third quarter and come back a bit, make it a little bit of an interesting game. As I was saying, you just never know with Carlton's final quarters. They're not known to be the strongest second half team. So that is one thing as a little bit of a plus for Essendon. And of course, with the margin only 28 points, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I think they said the Bombers actually won that quarter. 3 goals won the Bombers in the second term. 2 goals to Carlton in the second term. So they're a lot better. Essendon. There we go. Hey, let's have a look at some of the goal scorers and the stats. But you're right. If you're watching this game, you would definitely think Carlton, should probably be even a little bit further ahead. But yeah, let's go Bombers. Let's try and get a little bit back. Bring this into a tighter game. I tell you what, we've got a few goal scorers in the game today. Only one multiple, and of course that's Charlie Curnow. Hasn't added to his tally since quarter time. 2 goals, 1 for Carlton. Charlie Curnow. Zach Williams, Adam Saar, Jesse Motlop, Mitch McGovern, Fantasius, Tom De Koning. All singles for the Blue Baggers. Of course, for the mighty Bombers. Peter Wright kicked one on the siren. Fantastic. Just what the Bombers ordered. Archie Perkins, and Lowell has a goal with Caldwell for the Bombers. There we go. All right, let's have a look at the display. Hey, if you're playing the fantasy points, Tom De Koning's not too bad. 82 points already in the fantasy points game. George Hewitt, 79. They're your top 2. Ball magnets. Darcy Parish for the Bombers on top there. He's on 17 with Blake Acres on 17. Tell you what, Darcy Parish, 17 touches up until half time. That's pretty good. 8 kicks, 9 handballs. He's had 2 marks, 2 tackles, 8 clearances. Oh, he's doing the job there for the Bombers. Well done. Sam Walsh, 16. Durham on 16. I think he could be in trouble for a bump on one of the Carlton players. Caught him a little bit high, so he might be looking at a week on the sideline, Sam Durham, after that. We'll have to stay tuned for the what the judiciary says on him. There we go. Tom De Koning, 15. Andy McGrath, 12. We'll be back with the commentators in a moment to hear their analysis of the opening half, which would be fantastic. Who else? We've got Zachy Merritt there on 11. No clearances, 6 kicks, 5 handballs. Paddy Cripps, come on, Paddy. You're on 10 so far up until half time. 7 kicks to 3 handball. He's had a clearance and a behind. Jack Silvani on 9. Who else we got? Archie Roberts on 7. Jesse Motlop for the Blue Baggers on 7. 1-1. 1 goal, 1 is kicked. Angus Clark, he needs to do a little bit more. Come on, boy. He's on 7, 4 kicks. Just the one behind there for him. Peter Wright kicked a late goal. Hasn't had the ball much. 5 touches. 3 kicks, 2 handballs. 7 hit-outs, 2 clearances. He kicked that goal. Well done. Still need a little bit more. Isaac Kako, very slow in this game. Hasn't had a kick. He's had 5 handballs, though, for him so far. There are your plays. Nate Caddy also for the Bombers needs to lift. 3 kicks. 3 kicks only. He's had a couple of marks, a couple of tackles. Yet to hit the scoreboard. Need him up and running too. Let's have a quick look at the team stats. Of course, the Bombers are going to be trailing in disposal count, and they are by 24. Plus 22 to Carlton disposals. 35 kicks. Bombers, though, like in the handball, they're plus 13. They're inside 50s, both teams getting opportunity. Carlton inside their forward 50 29 times for 14 scoring shots. That's pretty good. Bombers 26 for their 6 scoring shots. Need to do better. So both teams are getting chances, folks. Both teams getting chances inside their forward 50. There we go. Disposal efficiency for both teams way down on what they should be. 64-66. My gosh, the Bombers are even higher on the disposal efficiency than Carlton. Efficiency inside 50, though, Carlton. Well, free kicks. Tell you what, Carlton are getting the better of this one up until half-time. 15-9, plus 6 free kicks to Carlton. There we go. The hit-outs are all square. 18 apiece there. The clearances, Bombers doing a bit better. All right, hang on a sec, folks. We'll be back in a sec. Let's head back down to the commentators for a little bit of analysis on the opening half.
It's Big Freeze 11, of course. There've been an enormous crowd from Melbourne and Collingwood, hopefully 90,000 plus, and we raised plenty of money for what is going to be a very special day. Freeze is just over our sliding, just over our shoulder. You've been down, Ruby, you won't be far away.
No, well, it's a nice unitard you were wearing in that vision showing just before. A little tight, not sure if you fit into it now, but it was a good look.
Well, we were the first one through, so we didn't have a chance to get dressed up like these latest bunch of clowns, but it is going to be a big day, and get involved if you can. There's the QR code, and we want to raise it.
Selling your beanies out the front too. I've just bought one walking in.
Good. Buy one on the way out as well.
Fantastic.
Let's get stuck in this game. The Blues transition game's been an issue for them in the past, Rube. They got it right tonight.
They did, absolutely. I mean, they're getting it done in the stoppage for starters, which we know is their strength, but it's their ability to play in both modes of the game. So when it's time to go fast, they go fast. When they need to control the footy, they're not just blazing it away and kicking it to random one-on-ones. They're looking for the free man. They're chipping it away, and their points from defensive half so far in this game, 32 to Essendon 6. So it's a part of their game that they're really getting bang for buck out of Brownie.
Yeah, it was really good to say. Clearly came in with a plan, Roops, didn't they? Pre-game. I feel like Carlton have played their best over the last 2 or 3 years. They've been able to get this aspect into their game. Guys, haven't seen a lot of it in the front half of the year, but I thought their best ball move was when they were able to build up with that good kicking through uncontested marks.
Yeah, and they're the 17th their second worst kicking team in the competition, number 17 for efficiency, but tonight they were able to put some chains together, and that resulted in, as you pointed out, Ruby, some really good back half transition. Intercept marking game was on fire early in the piece, and they're both, Essendon are at fault here as much as anyone else, Brownie, but the way they went inside 50 was so ordinary, and they took 10 marks in the first quarter. They sit at 14-4 at half time.
Yeah, well, it was disappointing, wasn't it, really, when you had Caddy and Peter Wright in it too. The big guns down forward, we've spoken about how small they are in defence, but not in the forward line. They've got the power forwards there. On show last week against Brisbane, they played well. They've got to do a better job of being able to bring the ball to ground. So that was a disappointing aspect of the game against 2 quality defenders, especially in Sylvania and Wiedering.
They did get the ball ground. They had a really good ground ball quarter, and it changed the game a little bit. Rube, I want you to have a look at this. This is Charlie Curnow swinging around on the back. The Essendon defenders here, all asleep. So the ball comes inside. Charlie Curnow's going to lurk around the back here. So it's terrific work outside forward 50. You find the beautiful chip cast at Motlop. Look at those 4 Essendon defenders. They all turn their back.
What are they doing?
Charlie swings around and says, I'll have a piece of that if you want.
Well, you don't leave one of the best key forwards unattended anywhere on the ground. You wouldn't have thought so. So pretty disappointing. I know the Bombers, they're bringing a young team in tonight, but I think at any level of footy, the most dangerous key forward, you're not giving that much room
but
to.
That was Jaden Wayne Laverty.
Yeah,
He's an experienced
exactly right.
defender, isn't he? He's got to be leading the charge back there. You can't let Charlie run around his own.
Make way for David Zeta. He's got a bit of Sunday night prime time airtime here. Zeets, welcome to you. There has been an incident in this first quarter, and there's some ramifications for Sam Durham, first of all, and then it took him a while to get Adam Chera off the ground.
Yeah, so first and foremost, we've got to Adam Chera and how he's going. So the club have just spoken to them. They said that he was completely cleared of concussion. He was immediately assessed out on the ground and was okay to remain out there in the eyes of the club doctor. The vision was reviewed. The club then made the decision to have the HIA completed as an absolute precaution, then came from the ground 14 minutes after the original incident. So the clubs do have the power now to stop play when they need to. The club doctors, if they think there's been a potential concussive incident, so that power not exercised in this case, but they did, so they assessed him and that they made the decision that he was okay.
Well, the question will be, why didn't they make it straight away? If they made it anyway, why didn't they make it straight away?
Well, that will be the decision, and that's what will be discussed over the next 24 to 48 hours, I'm sure, Gaz. They reviewed the vision, then ultimately decided to take him off as a precaution in their eyes, an absolute precaution.
The AFL advised them.
Well, we're waiting to hear from the AFL. The ARC does have the power to issue a mandatory HIA assessment that they think the club should be out there and doing it. So that is within the rights of the AFL.
Okay. What about Sam Durham? Is he in trouble?
He's in strife. So no concussion as we know at this point yet, just looking at the incident and the initial result from the Adam Chera HIA. But he has elected to bump. He's made contact with the head. Yeah, he's in strife. It's just a matter of how many...
It's a dangerous action.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst actions, and there's nothing in Sam Durham. We love him as a player, but he's the most dangerous action in our game.
I thought we were going to have a look at it. There's no question when you elect to cover up with your shoulder and not have any other intention but to make contact, whether it's to protect yourself or not. Yeah. And as I said, no one's more admired than Sam Durham this year, but he's made a blue there.
And it's a quick game, but Chera's there early. He's clearly at the ball, first to the ball. Yeah. And all you got to do is look at the welt on his face to see that he did get him high. So he's definitely got a bit to answer.
Like they were sealed up at quarter time. You know, Essendon would have been disappointed what happened in the first quarter. That was just after quarter time, and like the Essendon mids would have been pumped up and ready to come back.
You can bump within 5 metres of the ball, but if you hit the head, then it's on you. And that's what's happened here. That's why he might be in strife.
Big game tomorrow here, MCG, 90,000 plus, we hope. What are the teams?
Dan McStay is back. His first game since round 7 with that MCL issue, so a big in for the Pies in more ways than one. Will Hayes is back for just his second AFL game, so he gets a look in on a blockbuster clash here at the G. Pat Lipinski out with concussion, we know. Lockie Schultz with a hamstring. Jacob Van Rooyen back for the D's, Gaz. He gets another look in Simon Goodwin's side. Colton Tolstrup and Blake Howes also in the side. Out go Aidan Johnson through a suspension. Bailey Laurie and Harry Sharp has been dropped as well.
Okay, much attention. You'll see it all on Fox Footy tomorrow. They'll cover it magnificently. Tom Stewart, you can still bump in this game, and the news tonight suggests if you bump and you take care, you're going to be okay.
That's right. So Tom Stewart is free to face the Bombers next week, so they may be having a double jeopardy here. They may get Tom Stewart to play them and Sam Durham not to play them. So the actions were not unreasonable in the circumstances, according to the MRO, in how that came back. So ultimately, Tom Stewart, he made a fair bump. It was reasonable. It wasn't excessive in the eyes of the MRO. And as a result, he is clear to play next week. Noah Anderson got on the plane back with the team today. He's all good.
Great result. That is a great result. Now, quickly, Harry Mackay is a late withdrawal. What's the story there?
Yeah, so it's a cartilage issue. He's having some pain management concerns here. So the Blues, he's well and truly not a lock for next week against the Eagles. They're going to have to see how he pulls up across the week, and they may potentially need to send him in for surgery if it doesn't get better, if it's not something he can manage for the rest of the season. If it's causing too much of an issue, they may have to rule him out for a bit of a longer period, but they're hopeful it's just a pain management issue and he'll be okay next week for them.
Excellent and comprehensive as always from you, David Zeta. Not that long ago you were running around in the NAB Oz kick doing an outstanding job. That could have been you last year. Now you're reporting, so the Oz kickers are in form tonight here at the MCG. What a thrill it is for them. Plenty of sport coming up, including the Oz kick. Plenty of sport coming up on Fox as well. The FIFA World Cup. Off you go, little fellas. You've had your time in the sun. That's good.
All right, folks. Where were we with the hit-outs? Let's get back to here because the second half is going to be about just under 5 minutes away. Hit-outs, it's all tied up at 18 apiece for the Bombers and the Blue Baggers. Clearances, as I said, Bombers doing it well there, 24-19. They're +5. They'll be happy with that. And centre clearances, Mids doing it well, 8-4, +4 there, +1 in the stoppage clearances. So Essendon doing well in that part of the game. Contested possessions, pretty even, 79-73. Uncontested, well, not a great deal of difference there. Just a 17. Turnovers, reasonably high in this game, isn't it? 40, 48. When you consider 65 is their average, they're going at about 96 there, so well above average. So you want to be a little bit cleaner there. The Bombers with the ball, trying to stop turning that ball over. Look at the marks. You'd think Carlton are just controlling this. You'd think the uncontested possessions would be huge, but only 17, plus 31 in the marks. Inside 50 marks, so both teams going reasonably well. 8-6, finding a bit of space for their forwards. You got to like to see that contested mark Carlton a little bit stronger in the air. All right, there we go. Let me just put it back there. All right, hey, folks, we'll be back. Ella Rosa, how you going? Welcome in. We can come back, being an Essendon fan, you never know. Hey, stranger things have happened. It's only 28 points. 28 points is not a big margin at half-time. You can certainly come back from there. You know, if the Bombers put on the first 3 goals, there's 18 points, and then it's only 10-point margin. And then it is game on. So from a spectacle point of view, yeah, look, we'd definitely like the Bombers to probably get the first 2 or 3 goals in the opening. But you just never know what could happen, Ella Rosa. All right, we'll be back in just a moment, folks, with the second half.
Crack straight after the footy here tonight at the MCG. If it continues as it's going at the moment, it would be a Carlton win, but we know their records in second half. Their second half differential is 14th in the competition this year. Adam Chera will be there, Jared, as David Zeta told Gary Lyon before he was disrespected by being called the kicker, that the Blues saying officially that they did the right thing. They did check him out on ground and then did the more thorough test.
The absolute precaution of the HIA completed in the aftermath. It's a significant debating point as to how it looks and feels in the moment and the time that was allowed to pass. And it also, with that 14-minute lag, is Chera has 2 touches for the quarter, is that could have cleared him up to have a much more substantial role in the second quarter regardless. But I guess we're all learning on these fronts as we go.
We are. Jonathan Brown retakes his seat. What are you looking for early here, Brownie?
Well, I like Essendon forwards to actually bring the ball to ground, which would be handy. I ran into the coaching staff for Essendon in the elevator. That's one of their main focuses. Obviously, they've passed that message on to the key forwards, especially Peter Wright and Nate Caddy. They grinded their way back into that game in that first part of the second quarter, but that's been the challenge. I think Essendon, Carlton's ball movement at times has been really impressive. Been able to build up through uncontested marks. Move the ball along nicely in their forward line, and Charlie Curno's been able to do a fair bit of damage as well. So Zach Merritt needs to have a big second half for Essendon to get back into the game. Jim Connor's been playing on him mainly, been coming off half-back flank, but he's mainly in the centre square starting off.
What a sight the MCG is, as it will be tomorrow. The eve of Big Freeze 11. Carlton and Essendon The Blues dominating the first quarter and established a 28-point lead. It was as high as 38 at one stage. Can they go on with the job tonight? Well, have to wait a couple of extra seconds. There it's starting inside the centre square. The start of quarter 3. Goldstein had his way off the centre field. So promising start. Takes them as deep as he can. Guelphy worked to the ball. So did Caddy. The ball found Guelphy and he found the goals. Couldn't have started any better than that. Red hot the Bombers in the first 32 seconds.
Well, Guelphy's one who's got that competitive gene in him, Brownie. He just refuses to be beaten one-on-one. He outmarked Jack Silvani in that second quarter when no one else in that forward 50 was able to. So this is the message. So one set of bounce is a great effort from Goldie. But once the ball goes in there, I don't care whether you're 6'6" or 4'8", just be competitive. And he gets the ball to ground. That's a win first up for Essendon, and then go to work. So I think he's been terrific, Guelphy. They've kicked the last 3 goals of the game. They closed the margin down to 22 points. Game on here.
There is a certain symmetry to what happened at the Gabba in the margins at the 2 breaks, and this is where Essendon took a chunk out of the deficit to give themselves a chance. 22 points. DeConing out the side. Setterfield was right in grips there. Chera sends it up to full forwards. Curnow can't control it.
Yeah, so you're at Flemington calling the races, Jerry. Yeah, so Setterfield has been on Cripps tonight. So it's been not a hard tag, but certainly been a match-up in there. Cripps hasn't done a huge amount of damage, but he just keeps working, as we know.
7 other
He's carrying the top weight.
DeConing tried the deft touch, nobody there. Merritt clears. Wright does bring it to ground. Guelphy sharp hand pass. Kako, good burst of speed. He set that up a bit poorly. Haynes didn't intercept this time. Sard overwhelmed by the pressure. Blues have kept numbers at the contest though. Hewitt wriggled out. Sets Doherty on his way. Sweeps it inboard to Chincotta. A great hand pass and it broke down as a result. Setterfield had it, then lost it. Chincotta feeds it to DeConing, back to Chincotta. Patted it out the back. Hewitt's.
That was fantastic, man. Just no passing the plate.
And Jay Gresham is sore, but hey, at least you got yourself involved and you didn't allow another intercept mark. So it looks to me like a bit of a message has come out here. If let's compete, bring the ball to ground at worst.
Just did enough, didn't he, to disturb Haynes. Whacked down by DeConing. Who's going to get it out of there in the maze? Durham tries the soccer tactics. Hewitt by hand, snapped up quickly by Dersma. A wobbler that hangs, and he's marked by Wright. Things looking up.
No caddy, got to get involved.
Yeah, sitting on the 50. Comes to it now. Silvani on guard. Haynes again.
No caddy got to do a better job. Last week was fantastic against Brisbane. Haven't seen it tonight. Haven't seen his ability to compete. Got to do a far better job. Peter Wright takes the mark. I'll be really disappointed so far.
Curnow up, but he doesn't complete the grab either.
Yeah, he's young. He's young. But the number one thing you need to do as a key forward is compete, Gaz, as we know, and at least bring the ball to ground.
Yeah, so Guelphy's got to also think about his positioning there and whether his man can come off him and get that 2-on-1.
Well, instead of grabbing the ball, have to try and grab Cripps, and it's locked away again.
So the Blues have got a challenge on their hands. So this is season on the line kind of stuff for him here, and it's not as easy as it was in that first quarter.
Goldstein trying to feed Caldwell. Just about missed his boot. Lawal gives them a look up front. It's a scramble ball easily cut off by Doherty. So the set mark number grows.
Play on.
He wasn't quite sure. Conservative to Hollands.
That was 16, Jared. I'll save Gary.
Just didn't want to sound too repetitive there.
Different voice for it, guys.
Chera working around. Hollands was pretty eager to get that back.
Good from Essendon. Yes, he's good.
So Chera is forced to kick it long up the line and gives Cripps a fly. Knocked away. Hollands underneath. Right. Jarred clear. Cripps ended up with it. Handed it off.
Good win here. So they closed all the exits. There was no easy kick to take the pressure off. And then they win the ball back with a free kick.
Roberts gives them a look. What a great look there. Silvani reaches up and takes it as mark number 17.
And the frustrations grow. Haynes bounds away. 2 bounces, 1 on a third. Essendon finally try and close the space. Dersma with work to do as the wingman right out in front of the members stand and work is what he did.
Yeah, that's good. At least got to limit Carlton's access to the centre corridor, so they make him go wide, allows Dersma to get across and cut that off.
Charlie Curnow's Carlton and the game's only multiple goal kicker with 2. He stands at half forward, the footy on the wing. Dersma feeding it through Durham. Delayed the handball initially. Martin creeps a little closer. That's better. Caddy out in front. Guelphy is the lone target long. Or maybe the goals. Maybe. No. Haynes again. Not the mark this time, but just as admirable.
He's done some nice things this third quarter at the Canes.
Bit of lowering the eyes. The caddy makes the effort to get on his bike and hits him up. Just wonder whether he could have been a bit more patient on a fast play. Something might have opened up, but they're in it. They're in the contest.
It's gone for long sleeves as the chill sets in. Improvising away from Guelphy. Setting up for Doherty.
Pat Cripps is now the deepest forward. Curnow up around the middle of the ground.
Chilcotta working into it.
Clark's got Cripps as a defender, the deepest defender.
Pick it up for Carroll from Doherty. And now Flair to the wing. Haynes feeds Silvani or go himself. Goes himself. Lands it on the dime. Chera with footy in hands. On the 45 for Motlop, just out of his reach. Defenders scramble after it. McGrath, Martin, Dersma. Finds the way out to Goldstein. Link up to Parrish. Out now to Kako. Has the one over the top. Gives it to Gresham. Hammers the kick for Guelphy is alone and unattended. How will he spend it? He's gone for rights.
Yeah, good decision. He could have gone to right, or could have gone to Zach Merritt. He picked the right option. It was a definite mismatch against Lord.
So, second worst kicking team in the competition bites them again when they go forward. And this is the price that they pay it the other way. You've got to make them pay. If Carlton are going to turn the footy over, make them pay. So Guelphy gets out the back. And then they're on. This is a massive kick. Close this back down to 15 points and we've got a game on our hands.
Now the shot on the half-time siren. Peter Wright with the follow-up. The Bombers are coming on strong. And furrowed brows in the Carlton faithful.
Yeah, good ball move from back half. Saw this last week against the Lions. They started to get the ball moving in the second half.
That's the turnover there, Brandon.
Yeah, there was the turnover. So they started launching off half back and they kept the ball moving. This time they just kept it alive. So it wasn't anything special. They didn't get it back into the corridor. They just kept it moving forward. Scrap kick forward. Identified the free man. Then picked the right option going inside 50.
It's just a matter of whether they really believe here, Essendon, and whether they're cheeky enough to continue to serve this up, because right now Carlton are vulnerable. They're vulnerable. So the game that was on their terms that allowed them to kick 6 goals in the first quarter, they've kicked 2 sets, and the Bombers are coming hard here. Clearance starting to work for them.
Bang, the ruck's got it again. De Koning into the open space. Knocks it Essendon's way. Doherty manages to get it forward. Fogarty, Chilcotta from behind.
Oh, hi, Essendon.
Touching brief on Martin. That's a free kick. He'll be penalised further.
You should have gone back to half-back, Brownie, and just started to set them up from the back half here.
Yeah, Merritt's back into the centre square there, Martin back to half-back.
Going to make the ground big. This is the way they can win the game. Just don't go long and slow down the line.
Numbers for the other side, but that did open up the members' side. Prize kick looks good to Johnson. Inside 50, what's there? Guelphy tries to reach up. Again, a thorn in their side, Haynes. Anchors goes back to the goal line to protect, and the umpire blows the whistle.
And Brad Scott, half-time, just drill into them. We're young, we're fit, we've got legs, let's use them. Big ground, let's run this side off their legs.
Big numbers around the ball. Goldstein just smashed it and hoped for the best. Lyle puts the pressure on Lord. That is growing, and there's a sense of it around the MCG now.
So Carlton, let's see, their leaders have got to step up here. They've got to get some composure. Walsh was great early. He's just quieting down a bit. Cripps has got to just settle the mood down.
Shallow throw to Koning. Oh, that's high. And Carroll, that eases the squeeze. villain was Perkins as the Blues move it. So it was safely. Doherty recovers his balance. Skinny ball left it open for Parrish to harass and chase. Silvani's hands were working. A run from the captain and the effort was better. Caddy, Clark, in return fire from Akers. Loose ball top of the 50. Kako. Oh, faulty handball to Walsh and the Blues are ready and they are going to charge to the middle. No, they are not.
Durham, outstanding. So the Bombers have met the combat as well. Colts team hammered in, made the spoil legally apparently. Johnson for Caddy. The reach around spoil was tremendous from Silvani. Carroll's job to clear the area. He's going to come straight back.
Panic everywhere here for Carlton. Panic everywhere. And Essendon are making them pay. You've got to get your hands out, Nate Caddy. Jack Silvani superb on the spoil. Got to get the mitts out.
Johnson's got Laverne to his side. And he's going to give the forwards a chance up at the top of the square. Right against the field. And he took the mark.
Big mark. DeConing coming in from the side. Wiedering behind him. Just, this is your area, Brownie. You talk about quick feet all the time. Watch the way that Wright gets from the back. Well, there's the smother that starts it. This is just the pressure that's building. Then Durham backs it up. No surprise. Merritt and Durham, they're two leaders. But when we get to see Peter Wright, just the work from the back to the front of this pack was outstanding forward craft.
The biggest thing they've been able to do is compete since like that second quarter.
Peter Wright for goal number 3. The Bombers are made of the right stuff. Down by just 9.
Yeah, outstanding. What they have been able to do is turn the ball over in their front half. 18 forward half turnovers, but they haven't been able to go back and score. They just keep applying the pressure to Carlton and eventually going to crack. You just see that ball, see that movement by Peter Wright. Just has, Gaz said, that quick footwork. He gets in behind the other Carlton defenders. That's why Wiedering loses his man. And he goes back, just keeps moving. Doesn't allow Wiedering to get a set on him and then can launch himself with the ball. He's a big man.
It's
you
one
put his
move.
big man up in the air. Going to be hard to spoil.
One move, Brownie. It was bang around and then to the front. And
I thought it was multiple moves.
Yeah, but at the end, the one that separated it was one step around to the front. So, pressure now. What do you got, Carlton?
They've kicked the last 4 and the debutant is having a run in the ruck against Wright, who's helped transform this game. O'Keefe, centre field.
Kicked the last 5 goals. They've kicked the last 5 goals in a row, Essendon. Closed the margin from 32 points down to 9.
Tossed it up. Caldwell jams it. Kako. Saad. Sits at 9. Okay, put it down the throat of Durham. Caldwell. Caddy. Is it his turn? Not yet. Silvani. Superb.
He's playing well, Silvani.
Defender's instincts. Wonder where that comes from. Picks it up. Runs straight into Perkins. It was a wrong turn. Kako to the outside. Hobbs didn't take the shot. Goes for Dersma. He just can't quite capture the mark or the moment. Haynes clearing ball. Still vulnerable. They're the sort of desperate efforts that'll make Essendon fans proud. Centre field.
It's been inspired centre field. Did a good job of Patrick Cripps, but he's held Cripps to 10 disposals. And centre field's just tried everywhere. He's been covering for different teammates.
This huge Sunday night crowd is getting the contest that they came for. O'Keefe down to the front. Setterfield's got access. Sharp hands. Durham the trickler. Haynes had it covered. He keeps it in. He saw what happened at the other end. A meandering run. It's to a contest on the way out. McGrath pushed by Mottler.
The clearance game is just flipped on its head in the second quarter. It's 9-2 this quarter, Brownie. 9-2 the clearance in favour of Essendon.
You got a set?
We're going to have a score review, are we?
I think it was over to Haynes.
Yes, see where Haynes was with the ball.
Score review. Umpire scores no score. Please check it and cross. Review underway.
Take a deep breath time here for Carlton. They are on the back foot everywhere. 9-2 clearances are massive. 12-5 tackles in favour of Essendon. 11-2 inside 50s in favour of Essendon.
Complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball does not cross the back of the behind.
Just as a curiosity, If the ball had crossed, would the umpires have been allowed to call deliberate rush behind?
It's a lot to contemplate, Stuart. it's one for Monday night. Maybe one for Razor's Edge.
At the restart, McGrath gets it motoring. It had to be a slow play because of the delay. Wright's in there. Dersma tumbled out the front. No room to spare.
Since quarter time, it's been a problem for Carlton as the clearance game. So Essendon Mids have got right on top since then. They haven't been able to score a huge amount from that source, but it's been able to build some territory and build the pressure on Carlton. Carlton's Mids need to lift.
9 points down the Bombers and pressing at every turn. Caldwell dragged down by Chera.
Sam Walsh had a huge first quarter.
Yeah.
He still had 18 disposals, but certainly didn't have as big a second quarter as the first. And then Cripps has been relatively quiet for what he can do.
Gresham on the line. McGovern back in a more familiar domain, starting the game forward. Belts it deep. Laverty engages Curnow as early as he could, and legally according to the umpire.
He hasn't been opened up, Laverty. I don't reckon Charlie Curnow gets to enough dangerous spots. He doesn't get to enough contests. He plays like a half forward, Charlie, when he should be playing like a key forward. And that's not good news. Durham had that ankle last week.
Yep, he aggravated it. Harry Mackay, of course, tonight. I don't know either of the Mackays. Conspiracy would have continued, wouldn't it, had they played one game against each other last year. Hewitt, steadfast, takes the mark. So Carlton get a little bit of time with the football. Lead dwindling away to 9 points. Wright has to defend O'Keefe. Oh, he just barely did. They scrape through again. Gresham with the feed to Pryor. Waited for something to materialise. Again, Gresham gets involved in the chain of hands. Caldwell to Durham. One more. Yes, one too many as it turned out. Kako tries to harass, but the Blues had the wealth of numbers, although the vulnerability showed there on Hollins, the umpire to adjudicate by just letting them play and sort it out for themselves. And Carlton do. Hewitt comes away, pulled the kick beautifully for Williams. Cripps, the captain, has pushed forward, but it's going to take some time to get to him. Hollins goes short, back for Hewitt again, crash bang. There's the contact and the freeze.
Right here, Roberts. He just got to him too early.
So Curnow deep, Cripps deep, O'Keefe deep. There's no isolating the big boys. It's just gather in there and see if you can kick it.
Ringer Rosie. Charlie breaks clear into the pocket and flies unimpeded. In the air, there was Setterfield. So the Blues did the job to release Charlie Curnow.
Yeah, they did. And they had gathered in big numbers and Charlie separated himself. And this is what he needs to do, Charlie. Just take over this game and control this game. Laverde just lost there, so he's had to have Setterfield go to him, and now
Setterfield's had a couple for a lot of
teammates.
Deep breath from Charlie Curnow. Carlton need desperately for him to hit it right. He doesn't, too severe.
The difference, the other end, Peter Wright's been able to nail the big shots since late that second quarter. This time, Carlton crying out for their big man to stand up. It wasn't a tough kick either.
Not the steadier that they needed. Pryor pumps it in long. Hollins had first access. Setterfield did enough.
So McGovern has gone back. And whether he's gone behind the ball or he's just played genuine centre back, hasn't got an opponent at the moment.
The pressure factor for the Bombers been good, guys. Over 200.
Super.
3 goals to nil Essendon's way in this term. De Koning, clear access. Williams tried to shuffle it on, but caught by Delay.
He's gone back forward again, McGovern. So he must have just momentarily gone behind or chased the footy down.
Neil Danaher, that's where the slide will be tomorrow. Big freeze. On the eve of that, we may yet have a thriller develop. Setterfield releases. Gresham back into the jam, overwhelmed by the numbers. Walsh, good releasing hand pass to Carroll. Kick was no good. And Bombers get possession back. Under those watchful days.
Laverty pumps it back down the line. With multiple hands, Lau couldn't escape, but the footy found its way into the opening. Swinging a good tackle, Hollins, Perkins penalised. Keys into the corridor, there was vacant Both teams really, so they're going to work their way around via Haynes to Doherty. Back to Wiedering. Cautious progression this time. Bombers well set ahead.
It's not such a bad thing, Hutto, when you've given up 5 goals on the bounce. Try and take a little bit of heat out of it.
He releases eventually. Cripps, can he break clear? McGovern didn't make the best fist of it. Clark didn't keep his feet. Fogarty did. Around the flanks they go. Motlop the slider. Laverty tangled with Curnow, does enough. Gresham covering plenty of territory. Knew the kick would have to bounce. Behaves herself well for Perkins. In the spin from Haynes. Kept his composure and is kicked to a 1-on-2 against. Won't work. Hollands, safety play. Back to Wiedering, who has the best sight on what's ahead and behind.
They're using Doherty constantly, the Blues, to set the direction. Walsh. Fantasia's running hard toward the boundary. It hangs up. Dersma gets back.
He's done it a couple of times. Getting this near wing, just cut off that ball. And Carlton trying to transition.
Trying to kick their way through when I'm not sure it's their strong suit. It's okay in the back half when there's no pressure on, and when they have to try and pick one up or pick out a target that's a bit easier than a chip in the back half, they can't get it done.
Shallow throw in. Williams disrupted the play. Fantasia comes spinning through. Motlop threatens out the back, dragged off it. Roberts did enough. Johnson into his own man. Clark just a bit over exuberant there.
Essendon done a better job though with Carlton's uncontested marks. I feel like after that first quarter, first 15 minutes, first quarter, done a better job of just taking away those easy ones, especially in the front half of the Blues.
That's the key. I think back half they don't mind so much.
Dersma hacks it beyond the area. Where's this turn? Caddy released inboard. Parrish took his eye off it. Now he's in a spot of bother. Has support. Perkins. Caddy, centre half forward. Hobbs had the right idea to knock it on. It didn't work. Kako swallowed up.
No, got to take the mark, Jared. Got to take that mark. That was there every day of the week, and then you would have taken the mark, teammate, over the top in the goal square. Disappointing there.
Stoppage at centre half forward instead. Williams comes rolling out. Blind kick up the wing. Cripps kept away from it. Pryor used the body well. Roberts at the critical moment. You couldn't knock him off for that. It was just a mistake.
It's getting a bit desperate, so they'll take everything they can get at the minute.
Depends who you ask there, Joe.
I thought it was.
This is where, Brownie, this is where I want Charlie Curnow on the goal square. Not 25 metres out. Take Laverde deep and just one out. If you're under pressure, bang it into him.
Ruckman isolated, tap down. Parrish scrambles it back. Caddy playing in front, worked under it. Again by Silvani. Loose ball remains for Perkins. Got the full tour at Haynes' tackle and either released the ball or was penalised.
It's a funny decision, yeah.
So toss back up on the wing. 10 points the margin again. De Koning, the rucking and the follow. Can't get the darn thing to behave itself. Hollands can't either. Ditto for Chincola, who knocked it. Allows Essendon some access from Caldwell, who won't give an inch. That's been their mantra since quarter time. Bombers look down and out. They tried by 38 at one stage. Important strapping going on at the moment on Sam Durham. Might be having a holiday anyway after this week, but
Kick Carlton to a single point this quarter, Essendon. One solitary point.
Dersma off to Parrish. Bombers have kicked 3 of their own. Lyle stays down and no one.
Got to compete. You've got to compete. Someone has to compete.
Expansive switch. Akers. Chera's rushing beyond the defensive 50. Akers can do as he pleases here. Hollands on the short. Look at those uncontested marks. It's not having a great impact at the moment for the Blues, though. De Koning to take a contested mark, kept away from him. Chera fed De Koning well. Poked it forward, McGovern. Curnow's out the back. How will McGovern go? He's just a bit too strong for Curnow. Not quite brilliant on the juggle. Whether it started as a mark or a knock-on, it just sat there long enough for it.
Finished about 10 metres away by the time he completed the mark.
Was McGovern kicking to Curnow or to Motlop, you think? Why wouldn't you hit Curnow there? Because he knew Motlop could do this. Anyway, it's a big kick. Because they've worked so hard to get it back to 10 points. Just 4 minutes out or 5 minutes out from three-quarter time. This is massive.
Jesse Motlop has inserted himself into so much of the action tonight. He's wheeled himself into it. And he'll quell the Bomber uprising with his second.
That's a really important goal. Really important, because you've given up 5 in a row. You've seen it fall to under 10 points. And now this just opens it back up. And here's the turnover here. So you've got to compete. Well, the young fella there on debut in the end, you say, OK, that's fine, first gamer. But in normal circumstances, you throw yourself at that. Bring the ball to ground and see if you can't keep it in. And because this is the result, ball comes up the other end. Not sure what he was doing there. If he's missed Curnow.
And it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Yeah, or if he's hit Motlop, it's a genius kick. But it's I've liked Brownie's mentioned it already. I've liked Motlop's game, and that was really clever in the end. Just to keep it in front of him and control it and go back and kick the goal. So breathing space only for the Bombers.
Didn't they? After Curnow missed about 5 minutes ago.
But we're still finding out how good Jesse Motlop can be. And tonight's a big step forward so far. Blues out of the middle after that 4-goal run from the Bombers. Caldwell hunts it down. Motlop again, adrenaline pumping. Chera, Lord. Carlton to half forward. Have they steadied things? Nice body work by Clark. And McGovern at bay. Taps the kick out wide. Johnson strides forward. Essendon look to respond. Wright was the hot man early in the quarter. Hobbs, great vision that time. Oh, can he? Did he do the right thing? Yes, he did. Gresham makes it so. And the Bombers aren't stopping yet.
Oh, what a kick. Unbelievable off the ground. He nailed him. Did not have to move. Gresham, top of the goal square. They make that quick reply. That's what they've been able to do there. They get the clearance, get it down the other end. This is a great bit of footwork here by the big man.
Bring the ball to ground there. That ball got marked last time down, and then just without thinking, just puts a slipper on and has a bit of luck. Gresham's been a bit like Motlop, to be honest. His game sort of mirrored Motlop at the other end. Occasionally we can be critical of his work rate, but I reckon he's thrown himself into most things tonight, and he's got a bit of a reward for that one. Back to 10 points.
Circus acts at either end.
That could have gone anywhere. Tom the Carning tried that, but went 45 rows back.
The Bombers have had their morning on the 666. A critical 3 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in this third term. De Koning feeds Chera. Runs an arc to get himself clear. Kicks for Chincona. Motlop underneath. Good gather. Almost clear, but not quite. Thwarted at the last. Caldwell's kick is smothered. It's going to come back. Curnow checks the kick. Fogarty was out of position. Slapped it on well, though. Give them a chance. Motlop swoops again. Ran straight into Deersma. Good defensive stop. Deersma feeds Johnson. Martin. Perpetual motion for the Bombers. Perkins sets them up. Lual inboard. Perkins kept coming. Links it up with Martin. Now to halfway.
Great run.
Lovely run. Martin keeps it going. Out in front of Durham. He's all strapped up. Spins himself out of trouble. Promising hand pass. Well gathered Gresham. Couldn't get it away. Plunging stuff from Saab. Brought him down.
It was the last bit. It was that handball coming through the centre that just missed by Martin. This time again, he would have loved to have nailed that one. That just put Durham under pressure. He had to go for that long handball. Good chase there by Saab.
Brilliant by Saab. Brilliant. Just put an end to what was their best passage of the day.
Haynes comes away for Carlton. And a good mark by Fogarty.
Can't give one up, the Bombers.
Yep.
The Blues would love one here, Hutto. They'd absolutely love to get this back out.
Fogarty down the line. O'Keefe there. O'Keefe Again shows his marking prowess. Nice little pop kick to De Koning. Curnow places back to the goal square. McGovern's going to come up to it. It falls shorter than all of them. But at the front, Chera Roberts did the right thing. Cleared it to Martin, and from Brimley defending, suddenly there's a potential hope for the Bombers, although quick assessment from Wright. Just decides it wasn't the right time to go.
A wasted opportunity for Carlton going inside 50. That kick didn't give Charlie Curnow any chance.
So we've got designs on, they're going to work their way around. Make one last shot, a good shot. Laverty, 50 seconds and 110 metres to travel. Roberts back through the middle with minimal risk. Now McGrath takes off, challenges the debutant. Couldn't get past him though completely. The fumble from McGrath allows Chera in. Through O'Keefe again. Scull gets the handball forward. McGovern, it is long. It is certainly not straight.
O'Keefe's impressed, isn't he? He's taken a couple of contested marks, but some of his ground level work's been impressive. He's committed himself to putting pressure on defensively, which you need to do as a big man.
This is magnificent. That's Andrew McGrath there, who thought he was just going to run straight past it.
Michael Voss down for the three-quarter time address. A lead which has dwindled since quarter time. Akers backs himself against the boundary to give them a late look. It won't be a marching Cotter and Curnow. Can they nut it out? They can't. Curnow held up for long enough by Merritts. If he'd been able to wrestle himself clear, it was a goal.
What a tackle by the captain. In spite of half an hour, that could be critical.
Michael Voss, he's certainly not on the beach bed in Fiji now. He's back at the MCG, and it's a familiar feeling for Carlton fans this year. Great first half, but under siege. Can the Bombers overrun the Blues? It's just an 11-point deficit. The stage is set for a thrilling climax to this. Big Freeze, 11, Eve from the G.
All right, folks, that's what we were looking for. That's what we were looking for. Isn't that what we said? Let's hope the Bombers kick the first 2 or 3 goals of the third quarter. Let's make it again, get back within a couple of goals, and that's what they've done. The Bombers, they're coming back. They're coming back. 4 goals, 1 in that third term. My gosh, Carlton, 1 goal, 2. Whew, that's what I'm saying. I tell you what, Carlton, they just look great in the opening quarter. Pretty good in the second half, but we know what Carlton's second halves are like, and we know the Bombers can come back. My gosh, they're within 11 points. 11 points, 9-8-62. The Blue Bag is 8-3, 51. The Bombers kicking straight. That's, tell you what, the Bombers, they're taking their chances when they get the opportunity. And of course, Carlton squandering them. Tell you what, we're in for a ring-a-ding, ding, final quarter here. My gosh. Haley says, up the Blues. Fiona says, Carlton needs to win. You can't watch it because your brother hogs the TV. Oh, my gosh. That's no good. Tillix is going for the Dons. Hey, yeah, don't forget to vote. We've got 59% saying Carlton will win, 41% saying the Mighty Bombers will win. Who's it going to be? I tell you what, I don't know who's going to win this game. This is going to be a fascinating final quarter. You know what? I think the coach Essendon is going to say, boys, let's keep putting great pressure on Carlton. We know how Carlton stops. We know this. Let's get on top with the roll. Let's kick the opening couple of goals and do that. But I tell you what, it's a fascinating game. Anyone's game here at the MCG. Of course, a beautiful chilly night here, 8 degrees in Melbourne. It's going to be a fantastic. Tell you what, there's a big crowd in there. Looks like about 75,000 people. What a fantastic game we've got on our hands. Let's have a look at the goal scorers so far in the match. We've got a few more. Peter Wright coming of age, isn't it? Tell you what, he's been instrumental. He's had his 7 kicks. He's kicked 3 straight goals, doing really well for the Bombers there. Archie Perkins. Law still got 1. Goofy got 1. Gresham's got 1. And Caldwell got 1 for the Bombers. For the Blue Baggers, Jesse Motlop. Charlie Curnow both with 2. Zach Williams, Sard, McGovern, Fantasia, Tom de Koning have a goal. Wow, there we go. Tell you what, we'll be back not too far away with the final quarter, folks. Don't go anywhere. It's only a couple of minutes away. Georgie Hewitt for the Blue Baggers tops the table for them with 22. Sam Durham tops the table for the Bombers with 22. Both having good games there. Sam Walsh on 21. I'll tell you what, this is where the big guns need to lift. Nick Martin on 20. One of the stars of the Bombers. Let's see him have a big final quarter. Let's see how that goes. All right, let's just roll down the board a little bit. See your favourite player, Jack Sofani, doing well down back with 13 touches, 7 kicks, 6 handballs, 4 intercept marks. He's doing really well. Zach Johnson with 11 for the Bombers. Motlop going all right there for the Blues, 11. He's had 7 kicks, 2 goals, 1. Nice. Charlie Curnow, he could only put on 1 behind in the second and third term, so he's at 2 goals, 2. They need him to lift also. And of course, Paddy Cripps, they want him up and firing for the final 2. Isaac Kako, you never know what he's going to produce in the final term there for the Bombers. He's just had the 9 possessions, 1 kick, 8 handballs. That is it for him. Hey, all right, that's enough of me just for the moment. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to give the coverage a big thumbs up, a like. I'd appreciate that. Let's get back down to the ground, though. The action's only a minute away. And it'll take us into the final quarter. Whereas Carlton by 11 points, tell you what, who's going to come out on top? Stick your vote in, and we'll see at the end.
Yeah, their ability to score. I mean, the ball movement, it was completely different to the first half. They looked energetic. They were attacking. They were +4 clearances in that quarter, +3 inside 50. So they were keeping it in their forward half, giving their key forwards like Peter Wright right here a real crack at the footy, and 25 points in that quarter. So giving it a real crack. Now for the Blues, it does spell danger. 28-point margin it was at half-time. I just want to take you back to round 1 against the Tigers, where they held a 41-point lead, went on to lose that game. And round 3 against the Dogs, a 24-point lead, went on to lose that game. So you see Vossi here trying to rev up his boys. That's not going to be good enough. They don't want to let this one slip away. They're 14th for points differential in second half. So they're going to have to get to work. But this game is set up for a ripping finish here.
There's no question about that, Rube, and clearance has been massive for Essendon. So after quarter time, +9 clearances, that +3 goals. Clearance has scored 44 points, Brownie. It's been really strong. Darcy Parish has had 9. He's come back in. He's been rusty. Gets his hands on around clearance, and Corbell's had 5. So 14 between the 2 midfielders.
That's right. Look, that's since quarter time. That's where the damage has been done. Carlton had a good first quarter around the footy. Sam Walsh was outstanding, but since then it's been all Essendon. And what about the tackle by the captain, Zach Meredith, three-quarter time? That could be pivotal.
Subs haven't been used yet. Will White's for the Blues. Archer Daywicks in big game number 4 when he comes on. The margins are uncannily similar to what happened at the Gabba with Essendon. 32, 26 and 12. Tonight it's 33, 28 and 11. They hit the front against Brisbane. Are they bound to find the front against the Blues? Huge Sunday night crowds on the eve of a public holiday. A game to take us to the wire. Cripps commits himself, slides it out in front of Walsh, links it up to Hollands, gave it to Lord. Under pressure, back to Walsh, out wide. Hollands looking for some run. Pedal to the metal, kicks the Blues forward. Not particularly well placed, and Roberts punches it away from Curnow out of play.
So your eyes and mind always go to your big stars. We've seen Patrick Cripps on occasions like this so many times step up. Charlie Curnow needs to step up. Zach Merritt for the Bombers has only had the 13 possessions, 8 tackles though throughout that. So huge last quarter ahead of us.
Carroll's come out of the game we saw there. White is on the field toward the back of this stoppage. Goldstein took it clean, didn't do Merritt any favours. Motlop inserted himself. Williams up to full forwards. Out comes O'Keefe. Ball threatens out the back. Curnow beaten to it by Roberts. Hobbs, they need to be sure-handed here. White got a hand in momentarily, but McGrath is able to clear. Caddy's got to compete. It clears. Doherty, Hollands. Blues look to come in again. Akers has a look. Goes for home. Got a piece of it. Brilliant kick. Blake Akers and his absolute absolute best.
Oh, that's kick of the night. That was brilliant. Absolutely. And he looked at it. He didn't have a lot of head at the top of the goal square, apart from Essendon players. He thought, I'm just going to have to go straight over the top of them, Gaz. That is a moment. You need to give your team an injection of life. You feel like Essendon have created all these in the second and third quarter. This time it's Carlton through Blake Acres. What a beautiful kick.
He's kicked that from basically where the 50-metre mark intersects with the boundary line. Is that Oliver Hollands that got the hands for? I think it was, wasn't it? So that's something special. I like Hollands. Hollands continues to run, and this is where you need the gut runners in this last quarter. And he's just slotted one from the boundary when they've needed it most.
So he kicked some big goals a couple of years ago in the final series when this place was really humming with Carlton fans. Third club makes a big impact with a critical goal. Start of the final term. The job just gets a little harder for the Bombers. Walsh flings it. Cherrett, Caldwell and Cripps go after it. The tackle from the Carlton captain. Wilds trying to paddle it back, but beaten to the punch again by desperate Lord. Cherrett scrapping like it's the last feed.
Walsh had hands on the first two centre bounces in this last quarter. First possession.
Takani has his way. Durham wouldn't be displaced by Cripps, but he's going to pay the penalty for diving on it. Laverty watching Curnow very carefully. It's a scrappy mongrel of a thing. Chera knew exactly when to turn though, and to tidy things up. Lord under siege. Walsh, it's a long winding road for the Blues, and wow, big impact. Parrish sets his captain up. Carlton turn the tables down. It's their turn to apply the pressure. Parrish cleaner that time to McGrath. They sweep off half-back. Perkins, do your thing, Caddy. Charging forward. Silvani. Wiedering. Cool hand, and they needed it too. Prize it out. Here comes Perkins a second time. Hollands again. Doherty, and that's a big win for the Blues.
Big defence there for the experienced stars, as you called it, Hunter.
Hollands is running and running hard. A couple of bounces and the delivery up to half forward. O'Keefe got rid of his man. Used his size well.
Ollie Hollands off half-back has been enormous. So he was the one that worked hard to get that handball forward for the Acres goal off half-back. And again, he does it there running from half-back. So his running capacity in this last quarter is going to be telling. And I tell you what, this bloke has shown plenty on debut.
His dream was a screenshot of night time of the MCG. Every eye on him. Hudson O'Keefe. Oh, he can really see himself in that picture.
He made a fair kick on debut.
And the family are just waiting to get up out of the seat. He's had a great night.
Durham takes the re-entry.
So how brave can Essendon be now? Can they continue to run and take it on? Ollie Hollands is showing you the gut running that's needed in this last quarter.
Caddy and right. We've got a target down the line. Silvani not far away. Disturbed probably more by Wiedering. The Wicks is on the ground and straight impactful to Gresham. He kicks to open grass. It's a lot to hope for Merritt. Ball couldn't really be in better hands. He had no mates. Desperate handball back to Parrish. Old Firm back together, but the smother, the pressure. McGovern wiped it out. The Wild tries to turn it back Essendon's way. Caddy pacing after it carefully. Did it well. Placed it to Martin, to Goldstein, to Parrish. Pounds it in again. Haphazard. Caldwell tries to will himself onto it. Guelphy's hands were snappy. Back the other way, and it's a little exuberant and a little high from Hobbs.
Great effort by Caldwell to create that opportunity. Hobbs just reckless.
White stood his ground, quickly moves it out to Acres, and then to Motlop as the Blues try and dictate terms once again.
Hard running by Doherty there.
He really did sacrifice to be there. He marshals the troops up ahead, draws Curnow at him. Williams is coming out of the square and O'Keefe has gone back to it. Williams on the long lead.
Very good by Sam Doherty. He had to go, put the bit between the teeth, charge off half-back. They needed to get an option to the open side. And he was there for his teammates, then able to use the ball. Good decision inside by Curnow here.
I tell you what, Alex Chinconner's come back into this side, and he's gone to Zach Merritt after the 2-minute mark of the first quarter, and Merritt's had 13 touches for the game.
50th game as the Blue tonight. Zach Williams. Now he would love to reward his team right now. Williams takes his shots. It holds its line till late. Doesn't get there. And the Bombers a chance to clear. Noel, they'll have to make it up on the fly. McGrath out the side. So the chance to set up down the line. Caldwell, Caddy's got to go. Silvani to spoil again. Guelphy wouldn't mind tying this up, and he's able to do so.
Silvani's building a nice back half of his career as a key defender. He's been outstanding tonight. There's a sub being made. Perkins off. A quiet night tonight.
Archie Daywicks comes in for Archie Perkins, just a tactical one.
Takani with a grab and go. Cripps encircle terrace. So he releases the kick. A territory taker. McGrath defence first. Now, it's not a marking spoil, but the umpire has pity on him.
It's amazing it's taken Jack Silvani so long to find his spot, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
We've played 7 or 8 seasons now.
If you want to go with pedigree,
Yeah.
it's probably where you
Probably start him off.
Loves the competitive nature of the one-on-one stuff back in defence. And it is that way. Cripps just loves competition, but he doesn't always win. Parrish on his feet, releases Dersma. Good movement from the Bombers through the middle. Next disposal, critical. Gresham, and the next one even more so. Hobbs up into the 50. Sard didn't mark. Still controls matters. Back to Haynes. Kick is not going to count. Just over the line.
holding up okay in the back half here, so you've got to be a bit more imaginative when you go forward here. Try and even numbers up. They've been outnumbered quite a few of the times that they've gone forward inside 50 in this last quarter.
Kerno getting some treatment. Crowd hushed. They know how critical this score is from here. To Koning, Akers, off to Lord. Crash bang, and Martin, as is his habit, knows exactly where to pop up.
Got this in him, Brownie, or not?
It's like we normally would, but this is the last quarter. And he eases round to the right.
Out he goes. I didn't think he had. Not in one kick anyway. Got the handball. Rumbles away from Gresham. It all becomes a bit disrupted and not as he might have imagined.
Surprised that, because if he had used the man on the mark, he couldn't really kick from the 50-metre line. Just went too early.
He gets sorted. Ruckman barely get to all. DeConing did, grabbed it, slammed it out to the wing. It's gained 50, 60 metres. Laverty has time. He needed it. Gets it back under his control. Very conservative with the kick. Out to young Clark. Eyed off the corridor, but decides safety first is the way to go to Daywicks.
Daywicks going to correct all the angles. Roberts can roll and go. He's got the lineup coming for him. Martin plays it out wide. Pryor watched it come over his shoulder. He had time as well and used it to perfection. Progression.
Crisscrossed the way across the ground there. Essendon.
Nothing easy about it, so Gresham winds it up on the fly. It was impulsive. And it's a minor score.
But the Blues are holding up well, Gaz. They are particularly defensive 50 really well at the moment. So as much as Essendon want to keep crisscrossing, they can't get an easy access to the goals.
Carlton with the only goal of the last quarter, and what a goal it was from Blake Akers. Haynes back and across. Silvani doesn't want to keep going with that trajectory.
So they changed the look of this game, Essendon, with their forward half intercepts and winning the ball back before it got over the halfway mark. It's just whether they can get the energy to pressure up again and force those sort of turnovers in the dangerous part of the ground.
A bit of waxing between Silvani and Wheatery. Ultimately, it is the members' side, but where does he place it? That's a fair bit of Akers, and McGrath, since there was a golden opportunity to skip in and take the mark through Daywicks, the handball back to goal from Parrish. So Daywicks takes the kick eventually. Wright has 3 to contend with. There should be some bombers underneath, like Roberts clearing kickers back from Lord to the middle. Goldston had to bend down, and DeConey was ready and waiting for him. Wrapped it up, no whistle. Blues charge forward. Chera, Williams, back in the team tonight. This is what you play for. This is what you live for as a footballer. Williams slams it through, and the Blues get to relative safety with his second.
So they're holding up, and then they get their one look inside 50. I think you'll find Angus Clark here, who, again, we're not very critical, but this is a young man that's just learning the caper. This is the tackle from DeConing in the middle of the ground. And Williams, right about now, is gone. He's out the back. So you'll see Williams come into play here. He's gone. And Angus Clark's just watching. So the young lad's just probably his first game in the half-back line, certainly at this senior level. So he's watching everything unfold. He's going, this is great. How good's this game? And bang, as soon as this ball goes to ground, the turnover, Williams has shot the experience out the back.
This is the way to do it. Don't taunt the opposition. Celebrate with your own people.
Great pitches there. Look at that.
In full force that end of the ground as well.
It's a mountain now, 23 points, 4 goals to win it for the Bombers.
They're watching from everywhere. Got some mates in a Tokyo bar. Carlton supporters cheering, sending his photos.
South Warrnambool boys.
No.
Have to win a stoppage, the Bombers, and they can't. Durham coughed it up to Walsh. Hewitt finds the way forward. High ball. Chincotta's going to have to wait underneath it. Coming with the flights. Dersma. Colonel paddled it boundary side. Umpire will let him off for it.
So we talked about that clearance game at three-quarter time. Brown is 7-1. Carlton have responded big time this last quarter.
Johnson took the risk inboard. Setterfield, 50.
They're going to go. Carlton, again, for the back half, they've opened Essendon up tonight. And the Bombers, on the other hand, have just scored 1 goal, 1 from back half. So one of them come very early in the game.
Whole field set ahead of him. Setterfield kicks for the hot spot. Well marked by Hudson O'Keefe.
That's his 5th contested mark on debut. 6 is the record.
Oh, he's hung that up. Dersma arrives to keep it in dispute.
Held by James Ponziadli, who'll be sitting at home watching, hoping like hell he doesn't take another one.
74,000.
That's my bro. She'd absolutely be proud. What a debut it's been.
She's got him tagged as Hawk too.
There's a bit of hot ball going on here.
Okay, that title's up for grabs too, Hot ball. Right, trying to create. O'Keefe stands against the flow. Caldwell released it. Lord to clear for the Blues. Contest on the wing. Kerno.
And difference was James Ponziadli was about 30 on debut.
Exactly right.
So Lord, Whitelock just off the bench, gives him a shout down the line.
It's a good effort. 5 contested grabs. Huge. In the first game.
McGovern stabs it forward to Chera.
A bit of puff's gone out of the Bombers here.
Those cuts are starting to hurt now. And Price steps in.
So you've got to go on rebound. They've got to go aggressively, and then you make a mistake.
He took the line. Daywicks just imagined something that wasn't there. Carlton, the punish to be determined. Played wide by Haynes. White around the outskirts. Maybe trying to be a little fancy. This man knows the way that the ball bounces. He shows again. Martin to Gresham. He's put this together. He's got Caddy waiting inside the 50. If anyone could find him, it was Martin at the front. Gresham. And now it's Kako's turn to run into an open goal. Oh, watch it go through on its own steam. They're not giving up yet. Gresham with the long ball.
Well, that was amazing. I thought it was going to turn out of the goal line.
Yeah.
Kako didn't know what to do, whether it was going to bounce or whether to grab it first, then he let it roll, and then he thought he might make a late attempt at it, but fortunately enough it went through, so they just kept the ball going. And this is what Essendon have had to do for a fair chunk of this last quarter, guys. Just keep taking chances, keep rolling the dice, and eventually one comes off. Kako here just keeps turning right on him.
He's filthy, Isaac. He's hoping it was going to just bounce up and he could run in an open goal. But he earned this. Look at Nick Martin off the ground for the second time has resulted in a goal. We saw Caddy early in the piece.
Better contest.
Great contest and great front square front from Gresham. So they just hold on. 17 points. I was worried about their energy and their ability to get it from the back to the front. Well, they did it on one occasion, the Bombers.
Still the best part of half a quarter to work with. O'Keefe the tap coming through. Chera, Hewitt from hands and knees. Martin against the flow. Couldn't trap it this time. Chincotta put himself in harm's way. Ball does spill out momentarily. Martin gets it back.
Chera's had 5 clearances out of the middle.
been enormous. His famous bomber name there of all, Kevin Sheedy.
Walsh, Cherub Blues are dominating the stoppages, but it's a straight turnover. Roberts with a chance to set up. Should have been a 50 against Kerno, who came wandering through the area. Bad turnover. Akers winds it up. Motlop's the target. He had a look around and realised how much space he has.
Yeah, defensive mistakes there. For Waller, former Blues champion, big goal kicker. This man's had a great night. Been outstanding defensively. Hit the scoreboard as well.
So it's a clearance again that led to this. It was Adam Chera again who won the clearance. So from that point of view, they've turned it on its head in this last quarter, the Blues.
Take the full time, Jesse Motlop. Big deep breath. Plenty of responsibility on the kick, and all the prayers being offered for its success. Motlop won't calm the nerves with that. Yes.
Push for the game.
There, look, it's 18.
Martin takes off. Still hope for Essendon. Laverty. Had to rethink. Maybe there wasn't anything. That was the reason why he paused. Hollins. Fantasia was on his own. The kick goes longer. Motlop and deep with Cripps, and somehow carried the field. Marked by Johnson. Good gift to Clark. The teenagers working out amongst themselves. Strides forward confidently. Fake it till you make it. The kick out to the wing. Gresham. Can he get the better of Silvani? He's got a chance underneath. Plays it back to Caldwell. Got a good side of what's ahead. It was Wiedering and Guelphy. West Australian diving. Haynes arrives. Imprisoned in the tackle. They are digging in still.
1v2, Guelphy v Wiedering and Haynes, and he comes up with it.
Plays it back to Roberts. He's got a mean left boot.
He's completed well, hasn't he, Guelphy?
Yes, yeah. So Caddy's the target here that's got to get involved.
Caddy falls over. Goldstein senses that. The wire comes through. Parrish, guess who's waiting? Nick Martin. Nick Martin, you are a star. Yes, you are. And the Bombers are still coming.
Brilliant. Goes back to Guelphy, who's been sensational since quarter time, and these big boys couldn't bring it to ground. One of the smaller forwards said, righto, you've got to compete, you've got to create opportunities for us. He does that against Wiedering, gets it to the other side to probably the most accomplished offensive player on the team, Nick Martin.
It's an amazing story, Nick Martin.
It is.
Wasn't wanted, even from West Coast at home. We know the story. So well told, but he just keeps getting better.
He does, yeah. And they play him in so many different roles. Half back, through the centre square, half forward as well. But predominantly he tries to get the ball in the front half to create out scoring opportunities. This time he nails it.
This effort from Guelphy is as good an individual effort as you'll see. So one out against Wiedering, competes, gets the ball to ground, gets up off his feet, lays the tackle on Nick Haynes. Just magnificent footy. Life in this.
Back in the balance. Wholehearted stuff from the Bombers. De Koning rises high. Cripps fights the fight. Hewitt's into the alleyway. Fair old price on this stoppage. Durham with the first access. Floats it forward. Haynes thwarted. Doherty dispossessed. Ball to be won. Kako emerges. Caddy can take his shot. And miss badly.
Well, that was the man, the young lad that just come on for the first time in Day Wicks. So this is the difference. He just refused to get and let the Carlton play. He said, Mark, got at the ground. Ball as a shot at goal. Gee, I reckon they wish they had that first quarter again if they brought this mentality.
Blues 2 goals 2 in this last term. Bombers 2 goals 1. Wiedering, safety first, understandably. Curnow. Fogarty bumped away by Clark. Caldwell sweeps through. No easy exit that time. 6 minutes and 18 seconds. That first quarter score you talked about. 6 goals 4 to 1-1. 38 points they led by at one stage. Slender now at 12. Hewitt went to ground, still managed to get it roughly to Hollins. Parrish making an impact on his return. Shuttled out to Cotter. Trying to handle these conditions has been the trick tonight. Walsh standing underneath it. Dersma in his 100th game. Good contest from Motlop. Back to McGrath. Goldstein. It's a long way down for a nearly 37-year-old. Akers sprawled out. Is that high? It is.
Well, the Blues got to get back here. Goldstein's working back hard. Hard as he can at this stage of the game. It's a hard way round if DeConing's in the hole.
Yeah, they'll try and square it up.
So Johnson back through McGrath to Laverde. Didn't take out the middleman. He was tempted just to up the ante a little. Still 5.5 minutes remaining.
Peter Wright just came on.
And he calls in Day Wicks. And he has it for the Bombers. We're down to just over 5 minutes. The Brad Scott's men to make up 2 goals.
Makes the incision and Setterfield cleared the way.
Is that 50?
Up to full forward. What have they got in the air? Merritt. Dersman's always known how to take that mark.
Doesn't need to rush it now. He wants to get back quickly. There's still time. Only 5 minutes to go. Good mark as the winger floats down.
Back half goal, Brownie. This time they were deep in defence, going slow around the back half, and now they're having a shot at goal. Carlton will be filthy with this.
Game number 100. He's at his second club. It might be his biggest moment as a Bomber. It's a 1-goal ball game.
Oh no, it's not as similar story as it goes. It's not Carlton falling over again late in the game.
Well, they've given up what was the big highest lead, Hutto? Did you tell us? 38 points. It's close to 6 with time on the clock. Just fell over there, Sam Walsh. And they had him out everywhere. Dersman pushes down off the wing, and he can do this, Xavier Dersman. He's gone back and he's pulled the arrow afterwards, and they are back within 6 points. Clearance has been an issue for them this quarter, so they've got to get their hands dirty here.
Just enough there by Zach Merritt, just to create a little bit of body pressure against DeConing, so he couldn't get that launch. Now, Carlton supporters will be saying it was a block, Gaz, but
and eyes on the
little things you can do.
Yeah, eyes on the ball for Merritt.
Eyes an anti-test mark to his teammate. That's a nice things, Dersman, yeah.
What a climax we're in for. 4 minutes 25. Goldstein looks to rise, and he doesn't get up in the end. Parrish still whacking away underneath. Good care by Chilton.
Essendon forwards pull right back, creating space in the front of the square.
It's going Carlton's way instead.
I think they got to score again here, Carlton. They got a goal again, Brown. He can't be trying to save this. Plenty of time on the clock.
Carlton to Hollands. Kako is after him, but he takes the kick. Went for Curto. Predictably, interference.
He didn't have to do that, Laverdo.
The ball's going to drop short.
So Charlie, who's had an okay night, but Laverde's competed really hard. This is what you pay the big bucks for. And the game's on the line with 3 minutes 57 on the clock. He's staring down the barrel of giving up a 38-point lead. This is what you are paid for right now.
No Harry Mackay tonight, so the focus in the forward line against an undermanned and undersized Essendon defence has been this man, Charlie Curnow. No. DeConing.
Going to be hands
Laid off that. That's what pressure does to you. You don't kick through the ball. That's what he did. He laid right off that Gaz. It's as bad as you see.
He doesn't get the journey.
It's got to be 2 scores now. Martin set a big task. White arrived to make the spoil. And the steal ran straight into the steal of Laverde. Just throw it out the side, see if he can get away with it. The Bombers bring it up the wing. Wright grapples with Wiedering. It was a grapple.
Free kick. Peter Wright.
Coming back.
So keep your heads here. The Blues have got to push back hard. DeConing through the middle with Goldstein, can't get back.
Clark on the wraparound, pumps it up to centre half forward. Hit through Durham, dropped them up, and he should have taken. Walsh can breathe a little easier. Away to Sard, and a bit of ball control for Doherty.
Chera's injured.
Yeah, he is. He's been great, Adam Chera, but he's slow getting up. He punched the ground, Hutto, too, so
yeah, he did.
I don't know whether he knows something.
He had those hamstring issues last year.
Well, he looks okay.
It's more of a cramp.
2:44 to go. Walsh, DeConing, just short. Look at that from Goldstein. His ruck craft came in handy. Corbell not predicted by Wright. Desperate times. Walsh got legged.
Trip for Walsh. It's a big ball. If Walsh didn't come through there, Essendon had players out.
The initial tackle was good. It was just a wrap around underneath.
Now you can take time off the clock if you've got numbers.
Oh, it's 50.
David's done right through. He thought he had rights to go to Doherty, but he had no rights.
So he's claimed that he had a man, but he didn't. Well, that's just a mistake from a young kid.
So it looks like this might just be beyond Sam Walsh. Take the 30 seconds. It's the wise thing to do. His eyes gave it away. Oh, it's
through the mark. It's a shocker. Now, this is a good decision here because it takes another 30 seconds off the clock. And he can even take the 30, kick around go around the 50, take another 30 if he wants.
Turns his back to play. DeConing led on his own into the pocket. Blake Acres showed what he could do in front of goal. In those finals a couple of years ago, already kicked a brilliant goal to start the last quarter. But like Charlie Curnow, he's missed
senior players.
Oh yeah, he's missed everything.
That's probably a better result. Keep it on this side. They wasted 30 seconds.
Akers gets there to make the spoil, spinning out Fantasia, trips the line, fantastic. Akers to finish it. He adds to the margin, which stands at 8.
Cover the centre.
Got the right man kicking it out. McMartin.
He's got to go up the gut here.
Eyes peeled down the middle. Caddy lifts, can't mark. Roberts charges through. McGrath in the middle of the MCG. Cripps against Guelphy. Careful not to give away the freeze. Over at Cripps. Came out though. Hewitt scrambles it forward. 60 seconds to go. Martin. Fantasia held on for dear life. Johnson goes to ground. What might have given away the free?
How good was Cripps back in the centre? That was a huge contest. That buys them some time, puts a huge amount of pressure on the Bombers now.
Quick release kick this time, Laverty. Just thumps it into the middle. Darren couldn't get access, he got a shove. They're a live chance, the Bombers. 38 seconds to go. Durham kicks it long, tried the top, falls short. And guess who? Sam Doherty.
The game finishes how it starts, with an intercept mark at the most opportune time. The senior players have been huge in this last quarter. Cripps, Walsh has got back to it, and a big saving mark.
That's why Doherty is worth his place. Curnow's turn to go. Darren just flings himself in. Walsh released at Akers. Decoding, trying to find the way through. Hewitt absorbs the pressure, releases the foot in Walsh, so the senior figures again. The kick is for Motlop, who rises. Spoils are made. Carlton avoid the disasters that have beset their season, and they start the long climb back. Winners after the bye, they see off Essendon by 8.
Take the deep breath, Brownie, and you take the win, and that's all that matters right now. They were superb in the first quarter, and then it was just a slog for 3. But in the last quarter, when it mattered most, their senior players really put their hand up and said, no, we're keeping this game, this season alive.
The last few moments especially.
Walsh was in the last quarter was superb, and then Cripps had massive moments. So
moments there, we'll sort of feel an explode. Charlie Curnow.
Yeah. No, it's a really gritty win against the side in Essendon, and if you're an Essendon fan, you're just getting exposed to your list right now, and what you're seeing, you'll be pretty happy with. But the 4 points is going the way of Carlton, and they'll take it, run and try and build on it.
It would have been a disaster if they tipped over in that last quarter. It's the same narrative for Carlton.
The only one result.
Exactly right. So they had to win. No matter what it took, they just had to win tonight. They did guts there. I love when senior players embrace the moment, and that's what they did late. Cripps had a pretty quiet night, guys, but huge contest there in the centre of the ground with about a minute to go. And that was just enough to help his team over the line.
Yeah, so the Akers goal, Walsh had in the last quarter, he had stacks of footy. He ended up with 11 touches in that last quarter. Nick Martin was doing the same thing for Essendon on the other side of the coin, but the Blues got there in the end.
was 33 points at quarter time. And Essendon do in the last 3 quarters, 28, 11 and 8 at the close. So the way that it started, 6 goals to 1. Ruby.
Yeah, with TDK, Tom, congratulations, a great win, but they put up a fight, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We know they love the contest and handballing it around, so we knew our pressure had to be up and our contest as well. So it was good to see that last quarter we got on top and got it moving forward.
So you just give big Todd Goldstein a bit of a cuddle and a bit of a chat afterwards. I mean, it must just be a dream of yours. He's been playing since you were probably under 12s to come up against one of the great ruckmen.
Yeah, I was speaking to Cripper before the game actually, and yeah, it's so good to see him still out here. As a ruckman, it's so hard to get games under your belt, and for him to get over 300 is pretty impressive, so it's good to see him out here.
Speaking about ruckman, Hudson O'Keefe comes into the side and helps you in there as well. What did you make of the young fella? He impressed us today on debut.
Yeah, I thought he was awesome. I thought he competed really well, and he's a big boy, so he plays with a big presence, and yeah, we absolutely love him. He plays for his teammates, so he did well tonight. How
Crucial was that bye for you guys to be able to reset it? It's been a difficult first half of the season, so how much has that helped you?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's good to have a bit of a reset. Was able to get up to Byron, visit my brother, so and a lot of the boys were able to get away and refresh and really focus in for the second half of the year.
For you personally, I mean, 74,000 here tonight. You've got big decisions to make, and I hate to ask you about it, but does that come into play when you're thinking about these contract decisions? Yeah, I love playing in big games, and the Carlton fans always come out and they're so loud and passionate, so it's always good to play in front of such passionate fans. Tom, go enjoy the win. Thanks, cheers.
It was outstanding. Last quarter goes, 3 clearances he had. On the top of Goldie. It was a great battle between the two of them all night, but they won the clearances 12-2 in that last quarter.
Advanced in the second third.
Yeah, he's spot on.
No, Big Goldie had his tongue hanging out there for a while, which is understandable given how long he's been playing, the champ. But yeah, I think it's a big deep breath here. They've got some holes that they've got to fill. They've got to get better in a few areas. The first quarter, it looked like the week off had transformed them into this freewheeling, hard-running, heavy-scoring team from the back half. But some bad habits popped up the second and third quarter when the heat and the pressure came back on, but they did enough.
I just feel like they're still relying on that clearance stoppage work. They're big balls inside, and they lose that, Gaz, puts them on the back foot. Down the road.
Adam, first things first, how's the noggin? You've got a little bit of a shiner there to show for it.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, obviously went off and had to drill a test and passed all that. So, yeah, fortunately it's part of footy, accidents happen, and yeah, just stoked the boys were able to fight it out and got a good win.
I'd love to know what the comms was from your end, because obviously it took you a little while, 14 minutes to come off the ground for that HIA. Was it, you were given the all clear once you got out?
Yeah, I mean, I gave the all clear to the docs. I thought that I was all good, kept running around, and that felt normal. But obviously, I came off and did the due diligence of doing the test, and they had 20 minutes off, and yeah, passed all that. So yeah, feeling great.
Big win against a rival club. How much sweeter does it make it when it is against a rival like Essendon?
Yeah, any win's a sweet win. But these big games, big rivalry games, they're always great to get during the year. So yeah, a lot of the fans coming out always draws a big crowd. See young boys like Hudson O'Keefe coming out playing his first game. Yeah, it's pretty a big experience for him. So yeah, we've obviously got a big month ahead. We had the bye. We had some real honest conversations, and we have full faith that we're going to have a really strong second half of the year.
3/4 time, we saw Bossy giving you guys a bit of a rev up. It looked like the midfield group, Cripper and yourself were in there. What was being said there at the 3/4 time huddle?
Yeah, we probably just a bit passive at the start of that third quarter with that bodywork around the contest, and we knew they were going to bring good pressure, which they did. So on our end, it was just about ramping that back up. It's one of our strengths as a team, as a midfield group. So yeah, we've really got to lead it in there. So yeah, it's just a reminder of our strengths and just ramping up that intensity.
How crucial is it? I mean, not to take anything away from Essendon, they were brilliant in the second half, but how crucial is it as a side to, I guess, get down to the bottom of, I guess, the second half fade-outs from you guys and ensuring teams don't get so close?
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, momentum's a crazy thing in this game. We know it's always going to come and go, but if we can, get consistent four-quarter footy and really arm wrestle that momentum always back our way, we're going to be in good stead. We trust our brand of football and our system. It's just a matter of executing our roles consistently, bring that four-quarter effort, which we've had a big pre-season, done a lot of work, and we have full faith in our legs to be able to do it.
Adam, rest up, go get some ice on that face, and good, well done.
Will do. Thanks, Ruby.
Great work, Ruby. Asking all the right questions. Still, there'll be a bit of debate, won't there, about what went on?
Yeah, well, he's adamant that he was okay. He certainly looked shook up right at the start of it, but then I followed him around for the next 14 minutes, and he certainly looked okay, and he made a contribution. Now, that's not to say...
We're not taking point by calling the doctors into the question at all. It's just a simple solution. These blokes come on and off the ground all the time. So when you get a situation like that, take him straight off the ground and do your test. It's simple. And then we won't be sitting here saying what's been happening for 14 minutes running around.
But the AFL must have been comfortable with it as well, guys.
So someone came over the top and took him off and did a test after 14 minutes.
You would have thought the AFL would have acted
maybe they did.
14 minutes.
So maybe they should get him off.
There's the month ahead for Carlton. That's why one of the reasons tonight was so important. They can get on a bit of a run now against West Coast and North Melbourne. Port Adelaide, who are still on that bottom end before a huge Friday night clash round 17. By then they might have won 4 in a row.
Yeah, the season needs it. Imagine that game. Round 17. Now, we can't get too far ahead of ourselves, but this ground will be chockers. If that one goes in, they say get to 7 or 8 wins and start to get to some momentum.
11 goals from 56 entries, and Essendon kicked 11 from 55. The whole Charlie Curnow thing, and he fascinates me. I watch him like we all do. He draws your eye. You just wonder that he kind of plays more as a peripheral forward rather than a key at times, and maybe that's what they want for him to use his athleticism. That young man there taking 5 contested marks on debut, and his follow-up. At one stage he went for a mark and he dropped it and was back on the ball out here at ground level like a cat.
I think he's coming to terms with it all there, Gaz. He's loving this moment, leading Carlton off.
Lead the boys off.
How good's that?
Get out of his shot, Cripper.
It's a great memory.
Overlooked at the draft. He was the big Metro ruckman, picked up just before the 2023 season started. Had to whack away at the VFL level for 2.5 years, and then got his chance tonight.
Geez, he competed well. Yeah. That's what Vossi said during the week in the video. I said that's just what we want from here. And that's fantastic when you get a young big man competes like that, guys. And we're critical of the Essendon big boys ahead of the ball, especially in the first half, and not being able to bring the ball to ground. Yeah. So well done to young Hudson. Great memory on debut to be able to sing the song, the famous song.
No, he looked absolutely up to the level, which is something to be excited about going forward for the Blues.
So first crack coming shortly. Plenty to analyse from tonight, today, and from the weekend of round 13. Remembering, of course, it'll all finish tomorrow, but the Blues, after their week off, back refreshed, and after one mighty scare, will get the chance to drench the debutant, which I don't think he'll mind at all as they get ready to sing that famous song. It's the mighty Navy Blues.
All right, what a fantastic finish, folks. 8 points. The Bombers, well, they nearly got there, didn't they? Kicking 3 goals in that that final term. 3 goals won. They gave it a good crack. 2 goals to Carlton. 8 points was the margin on the final siren. 11-12, 78. Bombers, 11-4, 70. My gosh. I tell you what, the Bombers did really good after half time, didn't they? 7 goals to after half time, just a 3-6 for the for the Blues. Oh my gosh, what a game, what a result. Ended up pretty exciting. We thought the Bombers might get it done, but unfortunately they just fell a little bit short. All right, folks, let's wrap this up with the stats. Peter Wright for the Bombers topped the table with 3, Jade Gresham with 2, Perkins 1, Nick Martin, Lol Guelphy, Dersma, Caldwell, all won for the Bombers. And for the Blue Baggers, Zach Williams, Jesse Motlop, Charlie Curnow, all with 2 each. Sard, McGovern, Fantasia, Tom DeConing, Blake Akers with 1 top disposal getter on the ground. Of course, Sam Walsh and Nick Martin shared that honour today with 32 touches. Darcy Parish had a great game with 30. George Hewitt, 29. Blake Akers, 29. Also, let's quickly just run down these. Jai Corbell, 26. Tom DeConing ended up with 23. 29 hit-outs, 7 clearances, 1 goal, 1. Pretty good from the big man. He did really well. Paddy Cripps, 15 touches. Just the one behind. He didn't put any on. Same with Angus Clark, 14 touches for the Bombers. Just the one behind. Charlie Curnow, well, didn't add to his goal tally after quarter time. Ended up with 2 goals, 2 for Charlie Curnow. Kako didn't get anything for the Bombers. Didn't trouble the scorer there. And there are your stats for your players. Todd Goldstein, 20 hit-outs, no kicks, 9 handballs for him. Looking at the disposal count, all pretty well tidy, wasn't it? It's just +9 to the Blues on the disposal count. And as you have a look at the inside 50s, pretty level there. 56, 55. Tell you what, it's not much closer than that. Free kicks, there we go, leveled up, 25 apiece. Hit-outs, it was Carlton +9, +1 in the clearance they got on top there. Well done. +2 in the centre clearances. Bombers stoppage clearances +1. Contested possessions, only 10 the difference. +9 uncontested. I tell you what, she was a close game. Carlton just marked it a little bit better. There we go, +50, but marks inside 50. Both teams doing really well there at 14 for the Blues, 11 for the Dons. Good stuff, giving the forwards a nice opportunity there. And, of course, the tackles, look at that. All this game says, look, it was square, it was tight. It's the way the result should have been, 73-77 +4 tackle count to the Bombers. Well above average, so that's good. They'll be happy with the way they performed today. 10 tackles inside 50 for both teams, so that was really good. Let me try and load. See if this is loaded up. There we go, looking at the ladder now. Essendon remain on 10th, sitting on 24 points. They're a game plus percentage outside of the top 8, so they'll be bitterly disappointed. They let this one slip through their fingers. And, of course, Carlton, they had lost this one. It would have been lights out year to year, but that's all, folks, for their season. But they won. They're up to 20 points now, just 2 games behind Fremantle, but their percentage is still quite good at 103.4. So there you go. So Carlton's still in the hunt for the race for finals come end of the season, only 2 games outside. And, of course, their percentage, not too much difference between GWS Giants, Fremantle and Carlton's percentage. Western Bulldogs knocking on the door with that big percentage a game out. But that is a result of today. What a fantastic match. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow, I'll tell you what, we've got a big game coming up tomorrow. It's a big freeze game out there on King's Holiday here in Melbourne at the MCG. We'll be kicking that off at about 3:15 p.m. Melbourne time. That is, of course, Melbourne taking on Collingwood. Should be a fantastic game. Absolutely ring-a-ding-ding game, that one. Of course, the Demons underdogs in that game at $4.10. The Mighty Magpies, $1.24 for that game. I think the Magpies will come away with a good victory in that game. Of course, that starts in 17 hours, just to give you a bit of time. But, yeah, about 3:15 tomorrow afternoon, Melbourne time, we'll be heading to the MCG for the big match of the day, one of the matches of the round. Looking forward to bringing that to everyone. So if you want to come on in around that time, you can listen to the game from start to finish. It should be fantastic. We should get a big crowd in the chat tomorrow, having a lot of talk in the chat, how the teams are going, who they barrack for, and what they think about their team's chances for the finals going forward. Whatever you want to talk about football, you can get in there, get in on the chat, and join everyone as the game progresses along tomorrow. It should be absolutely fantastic. But that is all we've got for this coverage today, folks, where it was Carlton by 8 points, 11-12-78, defeating the Bombers 11-4-70. So until tomorrow, we'll see you at the MCG, 3:20 p.m. Melbourne time. From me, it's ciao for now, and we'll see you at the next game.